Hello and welcome back here for round 3 of the Irish Drift Series 2025 right here in Adventure Park Kart World in Watergrasshill. We're just about to commence as we kick into the top 32 battles of drivers. All morning we've seen some lovely practice runs from these very skilled drivers in the Pro 2 category and some amazing qualifying runs as well with some very high scores on the board, even reaching into the 90s. My own name's Adam Driver. I'm joined here by Mike Fitz once again as we get ready and started into these battles.
Absolutely, Adam. Yeah, looking forward to this one. Some juicy battles definitely in the top 32 here. Kicking off with Declan Byrne, our top place qualifier, who elected not to do his second qualifying run because the car was overheating. So that's interesting information. Now he has to obviously go through 2 runs here consecutively in order to win the battle against Barry Forrest, who qualified in 32nd position. So with an overheating car, I'm not so sure how that's going to work out, but we'll know there in about 2 minutes time, I would say, Adam.
I'd imagine so, Mike. This morning it was quite wet here in Watergrasshill, but things have dried up and the sun has come out and dried the track rightly up for everyone, so it's a lot more grip out there. But that shouldn't make a difference, as we've seen before, especially in the last round. If the rain does come down again, that the lower power cars could match up to these higher power cars. We saw with the 25 Corolla even making its way into the top mark here as I get attacked by the judges behind me.
Yeah, there's assaults from Kieran Hines every day here in the tower. There's some kind of inappropriate action anyway to put us off. So always lovely in the mid sentence when you get attacked by Kieran. So we're ready to rock, guys, and we are ready for battle action here at IDS Round 3 Pro 2. Declan Byrne, the higher qualifier, leads us in as the engines scream past us here in the tower. What a noise it is and what a spectacle it is. The crowd are cheering for Byrne. Barry Forrest in the big 4-door Skyline doesn't have the proximity here. It's a hard ass because Byrne is looking very much on form. Oh, look at this now. Barry Forrest in big trouble in the chase position, Adam.
Oh, but standing run there, going a bit too deep and knocking that cone out of it. He was taking it with him, but he decided to leave behind him. Byrne definitely has the proximity on Barry Forrest here and puts across the line. He saved that car from overheating on a second qualifying run, but he wasn't holding back there and putting some aggressive power onto it.
Byrne just got caught in that section there off track around clipping zone 6 there, so I hope he's not after doing damage. Both cars actually seem to go into it. Byrne seemed to hit it a lot harder, but looked to be okay for the rest of the run, so hopefully the right rear suspension on that Sylvia is good to go for the second run of this first battle here of our top 32, guys. And if you are joining us here in Watergrasshill, thank you very much for supporting Irish Drifting. Hope you're enjoying this show, and we are in for an evening of entertainment here to see who's crowned King of the Hill for the Saturday at least. And the top 4 will be going up for pro competition tomorrow. Top 4 going up for pro competition tomorrow here at IDS around 3. So we swapped them. We'll say switch them.
We'll switch and swap it around.
We'll switch and swap them around. I was trying to say both in the one word there. We'll swatch them around. And now Declan Byrne is the chase driver. Barry Forrest leads us into the Skyline. Forrest with a slightly inside line. Byrne is hanging back here, knows that he has the advantage. His spotter will be after, telling him that on the headphones, hopefully for Declan. Just doing an intelligent chase here is Byrne. He knows that he doesn't have to have huge proximity at him.
Absolutely, Mike. You can play it safe here and things will work out for him once he just keeps that line as simultaneous as he possibly can to that lead driver. Almost a bit of contact there as they come up around zone 7, as we can hear the crowd clapping for the drivers going around here. Byrne pushing it up on the door before they come across the line. Big roar from the crowd as Byrne and Barry Forrest complete their run, Mike.
Yeah, big excitement here straight away on the first battle of the top 32 here at IDS. So we'll just wait for the official decision. And we can announce going through to the top 16. It's Declan Byrne gets the win and goes through to the top 16.
That's the first battle of our top 32 commenced here on Watergrasshill. Declan Byrne definitely looks happy with that one. A really talented driver who looks very comfortable in his own car over the last couple of rounds. You can see him doing a big burn and put on a show here for the crowd. Everybody in attendance, make some noise for the one and only Declan Byrne!
So the higher qualifier does progress. And that is one battle in the books already. As we go on to the next one, it is the closest one on paper, at least. It is 16th place qualifier Justin Murphy in the BMW versus 17th place qualifier Stefan Mooney. So these guys very, very close to each other in qualifying, Adam. This one should be a tight one.
Absolutely, Mike. And I've just been notified there, Stefan Mooney is actually still in the pits at the moment. He's taking his 5-minute rule. So at the moment, Justin Murphy is on the line, ready to go. He is ready for this battle. So we're waiting for Stefan Mooney to come out here. He has 5 minutes. His clock has started counting down. His mechanics are in the pits working on his car to see what the story is.
Right, so problems for Stefan Mooney. We'll try to bring you more information on that one as and when we get it. Which means that I would say, in the interest of keeping the show going, so to speak, we'll be probably looking at the next battle and getting those cars warmed. I hear or see Denny Devine getting a couple of words in the window there, and indeed I see Denny Devine pulling towards the line. So it is the championship hopeful Daniel Devine from Naas versus Colin O'Sullivan, the young gun from County Kerry. It's Kildare versus Kerry, and you know what? I'm not going to call this one. You're always going to fancy Denny Devine. But Colin O'Sullivan is a wild man behind the wheel. He's fresh from doing the leaving cert yesterday. We've got a combined age here, I would say, of about, what, 36, 7 on the grid?
Still younger than you, Mike, either way.
Still younger than me.
Two very young drivers, two very talented drivers, so they are as well. Colin O'Sullivan, a young Kerry man, a very hard charger, a very talented young driver behind that. Sylvia, well able for it. And then Danny Devine, our championship leader at the moment. Very, very skilled. Part of that CDM Sport team. He's really been showing his true colours over the 2025 season so far, showing what he's capable of and showing why he should be the champion of 2025. But will he be the champion here in Watergrasshill, the king of the hill? We're not too sure, but we're about to find out. Will he make it his way up further in the grid? It's Daniel Devine and Colin O'Sullivan kicking off with Daniel Devine in the lead as he is the higher qualifier of today.
Right, as they leave the line, higher qualifier Denny Devine, 8th place qualifier, leads us in. It is S-Chassis versus S-Chassis. Oh, big flick entry from both drivers. Beautiful entry here in Watergrasshill. What a place to watch drifting this is. Look at this beautiful sunshine raining down on us here, and Denny Devine blessing us with beautiful lines here. But look at Colin O'Sullivan. He's right on the quarter panel, Adam.
Absolutely, Mike. Colin O'Sullivan is not holding back from Daniel Devine. He knows Daniel Devine's going to put down a solid lead line, and he's going to take full advantage of it. He's going to push up and try to get as close proximity as he possibly can. Look at this. This is absolutely outstanding. What a show by these two young drivers.
12 cylinders, 2 turbos, about 1200 horsepower, I'd say, between both cars there. Crazy stuff here. Combined age of about 36 odd, I think, between both drivers. Crazy stuff here in IDS in the Pro 2 class, and yeah.
This time yesterday, Mike, he was sitting down doing the exam. I'm not too sure what exam it was, but who thought he'd be here today fighting off in a top 32 battle against the one and only Daniel Devine?
Exactly, yeah, and you know, we're going to forget about the rookie and the junior classes now from here on out. We're just going to treat them all as Pro 2 drivers, because that's what they are from here on. They're in their Pro 2 class only from here on in. They've already done their rookie and junior classes if those drivers, you know, if drivers in the top 32 have been Pro 2 rookie or Pro 2 juniors. That's them done for the day with their qualifying. They're just Pro 2 drivers now, and crazy stuff. Maybe the drivers here taking a cool down lap.
Is it a cool down lap, Mike, or are they playing tactical here? Are they on the intercom over to their spotters and finding out some feedback on what they could do to try maybe get the upper hand on this battle? We're not too sure. We can see the two drivers coming around here now again. Maybe they are just cooling down the cars. Maybe they're instant out and are not trying to play tactical here, Mike. I'm not too sure. But either way, we're about to find out and see who'll get it. Who are you favoured at the moment, Mike? Who do you think after that? That was so close. I don't know how to call that.
Yeah, I can't. I really can't. All I'll say is, like, Colin O'Sullivan is definitely up and coming. He put in a fantastic chase there. Honestly, actually a fantastic chase, not just saying that. But Denny Devine, he just seems to have something. It's like when James Dean was coming up through the ranks and still is doing. Seems to have something left in the locker. If needs be, if he needs to push that extra 5%, he seems to be able to go there.
Absolutely, Mike. He's very consistent as well in all his battles and all his runs. He always getting high scores within qualifying, and especially in his battles. He's definitely making his way up into the higher side of the grid.
Yeah, so let's see if Danny Devine can pull out that extra few percent, or if Colin O'Sullivan has the pace here to lead him off track or something and make Devine make a mistake. Colin O'Sullivan leads us up the straight, flicks it left, flicks it right. Lovely entry once again from both drivers. Really nice angle there from Colin O'Sullivan. Comes away a little bit early from 2, so the lead driver will be scored on his lead line essentially. Devine sacrificed forward. Now Devine. Oh, contact. Double.
Daniel Devine pushing Colin O'Sullivan off the track, Mike.
Yeah. But, drama straight away. This is why we love Pro 2 here. It's always dramatic. It's always exciting. Now lead becomes chase. Danny Devine doing an overtake. Was it legal? Was it not? Who knows? What's happening at him? I don't know.
Mike, I do not know what to say. To be honest, when I first saw it, I thought it might have been facing towards more Danny Devine there, but Danny Devine just kind of made that mistake and pushed Colin O'Sullivan out of the way. Our judges are here beside us up in the judging tower. They're looking over things to see was the lead driver at fault, but we're going to have to figure and see what's going to happen.
Well, we have to watch the replay here. Watch this now. Does Devine just make a big dive? Or does Sullivan brake a little bit excessively? But there's double contact. There's double contact. The judges have a couple of different angles for the replay here. They're watching the live stream angle currently. So, okay, we're watching this now. Does Sullivan brake excessively? Or
it is a decel, so
it is a decel zone.
Is it too much? If he decel too much?
Oh, that's very close. I mean, Sullivan does seem to scrub off a lot of speed, but Devine was charging on the way in. Remember here, guys, as well, this has big championship consequences. So guys, let's hear it for Danny Devine and Colin O'Sullivan down there on track, putting on a show straight away, big show straight away in the top 32 here of IDS Pro 2.
Absolutely, Mike, and despite that looking a bit scrappy out there, the lads are still down there. They're two young fellas and they're still shaking hands and having a bit of crack about it and trying to figure out who's really at fault there, trying to decide between themselves, pointing out the damages in the car.
Yeah, we might have to settle with an arm wrestle. It could come down to that. I'm not sure. We could go one more time as well, but the arm wrestle would be more. I think it'd be more entertaining.
Do you know what it was, Mike? There's actually sumo suits in behind us here. Maybe
there
we bring the lads up.
We could get the sumo suits and see. Yeah, we could have a battle down on track of a different kind. That's for sure. But I don't know. I'm watching it there. Like the judges are deep in conversation here, as we always mention on the live stream. They're mic'd up to just each other and Alana or controller inside. So there's 4 people on the headphones. Alana's really just listening. The judges are basically able to hear each other and nobody else, and they can get pretty deep in conversation about runs and times. Ken Tomas Falvey, Tom Murphy, and our head judge, Mr. Kieran Hines. And they're still in discussion here.
Still in discussion, Mike. We're kind of left out of this. We're only the commentators here, but there's a reason they're over there. They're really watching back to these replays and trying to figure out who was at fault, what was at fault, and what happened there to make sure the correct decision is made before anything is announced here.
So we have a decision. The winner going through to the top 16. It's Colin O'Sullivan, guys, goes through to the top 16.
You can see the two young lads here shaking hands down the track. Colin O'Sullivan looks absolutely delighted. Two absolutely great young drivers, and both have huge potential to make their name a household name in the Irish drift scene. Once again, make some noise for our two young talented drivers, Daniel Devine and Colin O'Sullivan, putting on a bit of a show for us here in Watergrasshill. Anyways, we're going to move on to our next battle, and it is going to be Alan Canotti and Owen McGee taking up the line here in Watergrass, getting ready for our third battle of the top 32. And they're off. Alan taking the first lead position here in his beautiful 11-0 team. Sylvia, absolutely stunning looking car, getting a lot of proximity, but huge dive there in for McGee, trying to get proximity. I'm not sure what happened there, Mike.
Yeah, McGee goes off track there almost. Seemed to make a mistake there in the chase. I just caught the end of that one there myself, but you know what? Connaughty looking very good here in the lead position, I would say, Adam.
Absolutely, Mike. Very fluid throughout his run here. It did look like he nearly drove a bit too deep coming in out of our zone 5, but he saved himself. Owen McGee making a huge dive for the door there, almost having to correct himself to get around the track. Very scrappy first battle, Mike. I'm not too sure what way it's going to go, but they're going to swap. I'm not too sure what we're going to say. Their positions. And next up, we will have Owen McGee in the lead position and Alan taking the chase. So as we can see here, both drivers are making their way back up to the gridding line nice and slowly, probably talking back to their spotters to see what the crack was there and how it is. Plus, leaving all that smoke out of them cars. It is dry here today in Watergrasshill, so there's a lot of smoke building up inside these cars, so there is, Mike, and it might affect their visibility, so they want to make sure all of that is out before they get into their next battle. Either way, we're about to get straight back into it. This time, Owen McGee is in the lead.
Owen McGee is in the lead. Anything could happen here. Owen McGee is the wild man behind the wheel, that's for sure. So let's see what happens. Anything could happen here, guys. Keep your eyes pinned on the track. Owen McGee leads us in. Alan Collity follows him at the Sylvia at a safe distance. Probably advisable. Nicer line from Connaughty in the chase position, actually. A little bit wide from McGee around zone 2. McGee's in trouble here, Adam, I would say, overall.
Absolutely, Mike. Owen McGee really trying to push ahead and get a lot of proximity, but is that damaging his potential on getting a really good lead line and getting all the zones correctly? Alan is pushing as hard as he can to get up on Owen McGee's door, even just cutting the track just a small bit there, nearly taking him out with the front wheels catching grip on the grass here on Watergrass.
Right.
It's awful loud, Mike, isn't it? It's awful loud.
It is very loud. It's very loud, yeah, exactly. I've earplugs in, actually, one on one side, just because it is so loud, because I've given enough time driving drift cars myself, and I drive motorbikes and I DJ and everything, all the good things for the hearing. So I have the earplugs in for the big 6-cylinder turbos with the backfires, etc. And we just wait for the judges to drop in, and we can announce going through to the top 16 as Alan Connaughty goes through to the top 16. Owen McGee bows out of competition early. The 11-0 car progressing to the top 16, and that is so loud. That is so crazy loud. What a great noise, though.
What do you say, Mike? Can't hear you.
Yeah, exactly. So next up, we will of course have to go back to the 5-minute rule of Stefan Mooney and Justin Murphy in a minute. But before we get there,
this is going to be an interesting one, Mike.
Yeah, it is definitely going to be an interesting one. It is Stefan Mooney versus Justin Murphy. Stefan Mooney getting back out on track. Justin Murphy's gone way across the track. Now, the judges have said to stay on your own lane on the lead run. I'll confirm that in a second, but Justin Murphy went very much to the right-hand side of the track there. We'll have to see if that affected the chase car. Maybe the judges will have to mark down the lead car a little bit for that. Stefan Mooney popping out of the smoke on the opposite side. Really nice chase here from Mooney, but Justin Murphy with pretty much apart from that initiation, pretty much a good lead run, a good chaseable lead run there, I would say. But Mooney doing a good job as well.
Definitely, Mike. Definitely a safe chase run. But as you said there at the beginning, he did kind of just overcut the chase car and push right in front of him, using the whole track to initiate, which is great throughout qualifying. But unfortunately, that's not allowed when we come to the battles. They only have, from what I remember, about 2/3 of the track to use, so the chase car will actually have enough space themselves to initiate and match the angle of the lead driver.
So just getting clarification on that one. That the judge is not thinking that Murphy really impeded the chase car as such, so it should be as you were. Just getting confirmation of it real quick. And we swapped them around, and the man in the lead position now, Stefan Mooney, he's been very impressive in qualifying every round I've seen him so far. So we're expecting him here, Adam, to put in a really good lead run and get himself in contention for the win in this one.
Absolutely, Mike. Well, he did take the 5-minute rule. He was inside the pits there, working on the car. I'm not sure if it was just adjustments or what, but either way, he's now in the lead position, making a huge flick. Lovely line for himself. Is he going to get into zone 2, Mike? Just a bit wide of it, taking the wider side of it, but Justin Murphy is there with him the whole way as they come down the straight. A bit of a straight in there for Justin Murphy, but he's still keeping that proximity as close as he possibly can up on Stefan Mooney's door as they come around here in their second run of their battles. Stefan Mooney doing quite a solid run from there, Mike. He did miss zone 2, but he's making up for it in every other way. This is going to be a very close one to call, Mike. I'm not too sure what way it is going to go.
Yeah, both cars crossing the line. nice clean battle in the books there, very clean for a top 32 battle especially. Judges having a chat about it. I would say it's quite a close one overall. Mooney pulling out a little bit of a gap there on the bottom straight. Murphy then looking for the quarter panel, and I stand to be corrected here, but I remember a stat from the last round that is this like Stefan Mooney's second or third event ever, I would say?
Quite possibly, Mike. Stefan Mooney, he is only one of our Pro2 junior drivers. So as you mentioned earlier on, that means he's between the ages of 13 and 16, if I'm correct on saying. So
yeah,
a very young man and a very young, talented man at that.
Absolutely. So the scores will drop in. But moving through to the top 16, it's Justin Murphy goes through to the top 16. A great effort there from Stefan Mooney, but overall just not enough. Overall, to take the win, the more experienced Justin Murphy there, taking the 1JZ E36 to the top 16 and deafening everyone while he's at it.
Absolutely, Mike. Two great looking cars as well, especially Justin Murphy's. I'm a huge fan of the E36, so I am. I keep mentioning that, and his car absolutely does look outstanding with that Pan Am kit. Either way, we're going to move on to our next battle again, Mike, and this one's really going to be interesting. Two outstanding drivers, two very young drivers as well. It is Dean Davey, the eldest of the two Davey brothers in the Pro2 category, being chased by Bartek. So bad.
Just call him Barty B.
Barty B. We'll say Barty B. Barty B is in the chase.
Barty B is in the chase. Young Barty B is in the chase, leading the rookie championship, I believe, currently. But that could all change after today, that's for sure, because it's been a championship shake-up day a little bit so far. Denny Devine is out of competition, our championship leader in Pro 2. So things are going to change after this round, that's for sure. Now, young Davey leads us in. Chased in by Barty B on the inside there, just on the handbrake to avoid the collision with the 180SX of Dean Davey. The Carrick karting S13 powering across the straight and a big dive. Look at this from Bartek Plazhetski. Very, very good dive there, but unfortunately backs out of it a little bit early and loses some proximity again. Nice lead line here from Davey. Bartek is on the inside line a small bit. Davey transitions, drags the handbrake. Bartek goes for a dive again, but he's a little bit on the inside of the track, and Davey crosses the line. And you know, a good run from both drivers once again. Nothing too messy, but I think it was a little bit better lead than chase there.
Absolutely, Mike. Definitely a very clean chase by the Davies by Dean Davey, doing what the Davies do. But Bartek was with him the whole way, trying to get as close proximity as he can, especially in them D-cell zones. He was using that for his advantage. Dean Davey had to slow down to get that car in the position where he wanted. But Bartek in that BMW had that space and had that grip and control over the car. So use that to his advantage and push right up on the door of Dean.
Indeed. So the SD Aero versus Carrick Karting sponsored cars. Guys, if you are up anywhere around Roscommon, Sligo, anywhere up around that direction, Mayo, whatever, even if you want to come down from Donegal direction to Carrick Karting there, support the lads because they have 3 drift cars out in the one season. So the more fellas karting, the better. Keep the Davies doing what they do. And we swapped around. Oh, a big gap opening out here. Bartek Plazhetski putting foot to floor and opening up a massive gap on initiation there on Dean Davey. Dean Davey's going to have to find the grip here in the S13. And so far he hasn't found the proximity. He's on the correct line in the chase position, but Bartek Plazhetski opened up the gap over the straight here on Watergrasshill. Now Davey cuts the track a little bit in order to find the quarter panel. He does start to find that proximity, but unfortunately he cut the track a little bit to do so. Could there be an upset here? Could it be Bartek Plazhetski taking this one at him?
I'm not too sure, Mike. Quite possibly could be. I'm not too sure, but these 2 young drivers really gave it everything they could there, so they could. Bartek put down an unbelievable lead run there as well, just as much as Dean Davey done. Unfortunately, missing zone 2 as I watched the replay here on the live stream, but trying to get as much proximity as way as he can from that Carrick Karting 180 SX. Lovely line there for our zone 4 and 5, so I can see here on the stream as we wait for a result to drop in. The 2 drivers are out of their car here chatting, talking about what just happened. As we can hear the crowd giving a bit of a clap, appreciating it.
Yeah, a clap there without even prompting, the crowd appreciating this one. Good clean battle from both drivers, and everybody enjoying the drifting and the crackdown here today in Watergrasshill. It's a great day for drifting. The forecast looked very patchy actually, but it's been better than expected for once in Ireland, and the judges are still in discussion on this one as we wait for the results to drop in here. We're actually going off the live stream live to us for the results, and we can announce that the winner going through to the top 16 It's neither of them, guys. It's one more time for Bartek Plazhetski and Dean Davey. Judges not being able to split them. I think it was a little bit of a better lead from Davey on the first one. I'll stay quiet a second because we can't hear ourselves think. I think it was a little bit of a better lead from Davey in the first one. The chase was quite scrappy from Bartek, but he had a bit of proximity. In the second run then you swapped them around, and to be fair, Bartek just opened up a gap on the straight. Davey never found the proximity apart from cutting the track at the second hairpin in order to do it. And to be fair, I would say that it was kind of, as we say back west, 6 in one, half dozen in the other.
Exactly, Mike. Well, I'm not going to complain to see another battle of them two going out again together because they're two very talented young drivers. Either way, we're going to make our way into our next battle of the top 32 with Nathan Corcoran and Jake Davey. Another Davey making his way out on track. Nathan Corcoran taking the lead, one of the most powerful cars in the Pro2 car category. Definitely one of the fastest, but Dean Davey is making his way right up in that door. Look at that proximity from Dean Davey as Nathan Corcoran tries to get the line dialed in. Dean Davey is staying with him and trying to get right up with him.
Yeah, Jake Davey doing great there in the chase position. Nathan Corcoran slightly missing zone 5 there, has all the horsepower in the world to play with in the BMW, sacrifices 7 there a small bit as well. Look at the smoke coming from the back of Nathan Corcoran's BMW, but Davey doesn't mind, pops back through the smoke and pushes the BMW across the line.
Michael, why am I calling you Michael? Mike, Dean Davey is
Michael is fine.
Dean Davey is only 15 years of age. 15 years of age, and he is chasing hundreds and hundreds Jake Davey, apologies, is chasing hundreds and hundreds of horsepower car around this track. Like, it's absolutely nothing to him, getting right up and close, get as close proximity as possible.
Kieran Hines drawing on my hand, as usual, putting us off. No, it's absolutely no notice to him, Adam. And you know what, I'm just looking at the battle bracket here. Interestingly, if Dean Davey wins the one more time and if Jake Davey wins this battle, we're going to see Dean Davey versus Jake Davey in the top 16s. But let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. So we have to get through Nathan Corcoran. Oh, hang on, we have a car going a cool down lap.
Just a cool down lap, Mike. Things are getting a bit too warm inside that Davey car carton.
So a cool down lap there for Jake Davey. These cars, again, they're under so much stress, and this lap in Watergrasshill is actually quite a long lap in terms of drifting, and it's a terrible place for heat in cars because you're going sideways anyway, but the hairpins are quite slow, to be honest, and there's not a lot of air getting through the intercooler to the rad and the oil cooler. You know, you're not moving through the air really quickly, and you have to have huge wheel speed, so you're running at really high RPM at pretty tame speed. So you know your engine RPMs are up around 7,500, whatever. But you're actually moving through the air coming out of the hairpins at probably like 30 miles an hour for a second. So it's just one of those places that creates loads of heat. So if you see drivers taking cool down laps and things, guys, according as the day goes on, that's exactly why, because their temps are probably up north of 110 degrees, their water temps.
Absolutely, but this time around, Jake Davies taking the lead position, a very precise driver, loves getting his line dialed in as much as he can and getting into the lead position. But Nathan Corcoran has the power to be up there with that car carton. Sylvia as he pushes around here, and you can see he's pushing, making up, but Jake Davey is pushing away as much as he can, trying to get the proximity while getting all them zones perfect. A huge flick in there, Mike.
Oh, does he hold it? He holds it. Wow,
Mike! What an insane entry. Is that what the judges want to see, though? I'm not too sure. Nathan Corcoran is trying to get up on the door, using the power he has to get proximity. Mike, I'm gobsmacked. What an entry that was.
Wow. What a save there by Jake Davey. Now let's just see if the judges are going to have a quick look, and just in case it puts Corcoran off or anything, just, you know, double checking all sides of this one. Now Davey's pulled out a big gap. Corcoran is 2-3 car lengths back. Davey almost over rotates. Corcoran seems to back out, but to be honest, he had all the time in the world to make the dive and still be safe doing it. I can't call that I can't call that the fault of the lead car, but let's see what the judges say. And guys, they're both out of the cars. Let's hear a round of applause. Big entertaining battle from Nathan Corcoran and Jake Davey.
What an outstanding run, Mike. And don't forget, Jake Davey is actually suffering with injury from playing GA during the week. Definitely a sportsman, as we can hear the crowd screaming on for him.
Yeah.
But he makes that work. He doesn't use that a default to him. He's making that work for him and pushing that car around the track at only 15 years of age.
Yeah.
Mike, have we got a result in yet?
We don't. Still, judges still in the deliberation about this one. Great atmosphere down here, Watergrasshill, especially for the Saturday, which traditionally has slightly less crowd than the Sunday Pro event, obviously. But a great atmosphere down here in the sunshine in Watergrasshill. I'm enjoying this. Everyone's enjoying this, I think. And the only people maybe not enjoying this so much are the judges, because this is taking a second to speak about. I would say that, Davey looking good to me for that one, but the judges obviously maybe speaking about that moment there where he almost spun. But we do have a decision coming in, and we can announce going through to the top 16. It's Jake Davey. Nathan Corcoran will be happy though with his performance. Pulled it out of the bag in qualifying, got the car in the show, and looking better and better every round and getting more comfortable in that car. Jake Davey will go on to battle the winner of Dean Davey versus Bartek Blazjetski, which we will have to go back to for one more time.
Well, Mike, we're about to move on to our next battle. Up on the line, I can see the CDM Sport Conor Duggan line up in his V8 E46 against the young Marcus Heinen, getting ready for their first battle. First off will be Conor Duggan in the lead position. Lots of power in that car. Very aggressive driver as well, and well able to do it. Definitely a contender for the championship this year. Huge flick in from Conor Duggan, but Marcus Heinen is right up on him, getting his close proximity. Marcus Heinen really getting up on that CDM Sport E46, trying to close that proximity as much as he can.
Yeah, Heinen's got the pace here. He's playing with the back of the BMW in this Silvia. He definitely has the measure of Conor Duggan, who is putting in a really nice lead run. Pretty much textbook lead run here from Conor Duggan, qualifying very highly. Conor Duggan actually a 5th place qualifier versus 28th for Marcus Heinen. So on paper, Conor Duggan the favourite here, but very much being pushed over the line by Marcus Heinen. Guys, let's hear that from Marcus Heinen. The chase there, really good chase from Heinen all the way. Conor Duggan making it easy for him with a great lead. A little bit wide of clipping point 2, Duggan was, just watching back the replay here. But watch this from Heinen now, just makes the dive here, keeps the Silvia kind of straight on the entry into the first hairpin. And then maybe the BMW just getting away a little bit, but once you get to this hairpin here, then the Silvia hooking up and just pretty much choosing where he wants to be with the back of the BMW. So I wouldn't say much of an advantage to either driver. Duggan's pretty much perfect lead run will gain him back a few points there from the proximity that Heinen has. So it's probably still about 5-5 here.
Absolutely, Mike, I definitely agree with you. I couldn't see any flaws from either driver there, as the chase driver had loads of determination to get up on the door of the lead driver, while the lead driver put down an unbelievable line for that chase driver to follow. We're about to swap things around. It could be all down to this run, Mike.
Yeah, it's still all to play for. Absolutely, as we swap them around now. And I think Marcus Heinen's car looked quick. Oh, hold on. Are we going for a cool down lap? We might need a cool down lap here. More 2JZ. Hold on, it's not a cool down lap. Could be 5-minute rule. We'll just confirm that with you guys in a second. Oh yeah, Marcus Heinen, I'm just overhearing here that off the scale, I heard the words off the scale, so I'm assuming that was water temps are off the scale. Obviously, if the water temps are extremely high, the oil temperatures will follow to a point. And if your oil temperatures go off the scale, then you're revving your engine at, again, 7,500 RPM. Usually you start to see conrods, so that's a bad thing, and we don't want to see any conrods. So Marcus Heinen just getting a little bit of air through the radiator, the oil cooler of that S13, and we're ready to rock with the second half of the battle between Marcus Heinen and Conor Duggan.
Absolutely, Mike. Marcus Heinen in the lead position this time. Conor Duggan took a bit of a jump on the line to see could he get a bit of a head start and get close to Marcus Heinen, because he definitely does have the advantage on the pace. Marcus Heinen just a small bit shallow there of zone 2, but he did get just into it. Conor Duggan looks like he's struggling to get close proximity up in Marcus Heinen, but he's making it work. He's getting that CDM Sport E46 up there with him as we come from these East Hill zones and around Watergrasshill, coming up the hill.
Right, so Heinen with a lovely lead run. Conor Duggan starting to find the door, that's for sure. And they cross the line, and I think it's the blue and white car is going to win this one, Adam.
Do not, Mike. I'd say it's the white and blue one.
The white and blue car, Adam reckons. I don't know. I think it's the blue and white is going to win, but Let's see here, guys, as the results drop in. Going through, it is Marcus Heinen goes through to the top 16. We lose the CDM Sport car of Conor Duggan. That's the second CDM Sport car out. And Marcus Heinen looking very good, very controlled there. And once again, guys, if you are listening here in Watergrasshill or watching the live stream at home, IDS this season is brought to you by our title sponsors Red Bull and Lucky Day Competitions, in conjunction with ECU Master, GMD Tyre and Service Centre, Yugen Factory, TS Drift Days, driftmagazine.eu, Strom Wheels, Turn Distribution, Nisuba, Group D, CDM Sport, and Shift AM.
Absolutely, Mike. We're going to make our way into our next battle. That isn't really a battle because unfortunately Jake McElveen is out of competition today. Another CDM Sport driver who will not be driving with us. But Andrew Kenna is still on the line. All he has to do is initiate to show to the judges that he is able to initiate the drift and start scoring for himself. But he might take the advantage, Mike, and put on a bit of a show for everyone here and do a full lap. We never know. Kind of looks like that he's coming in with lots of pace here, initiating into zone 1.
Yeah, I think he's going to want to definitely initiate hard anyway, which he does. Suffering some understeer issues around the first corner there was Andrew Kenna in qualifying, but looking a lot better that time. So yeah, just kind of decides to take a handy lap now. Shows he can initiate. And you know, we've seen so many great battles and so many great drift events down here over the years. It's not a natural drift track initially, but that new section in the centre, essentially the second hairpin, the third corner, has made such a difference to this track. There's not that big long pull over to the actual karting track second hairpin anymore. So it's such a great drift track now with that slight modification and that new tarmac laid down. It's just such a better track. And I remember being back here in the days of driving in D-Rift. That's how long ago that was, in 2007 or 8.
D-Rift.
D-Rift it was called. It was a separate championship, ran by Richie Levin, I believe, and that's a long time ago, but there's a lot of history here. Pro Drift was here, D1 Drift Series IRL was here, and we're here now with IDS. And in the right-hand side of the bracket, it is Dylan Wilson to lead in Luke Talley. Luke Talley having one lap to get it done. Luke Talley is in third place in the championship. Both these guys are going for championship glory in Pro 2. Luke Talley with the big mistake. If he is to maintain his third place in this championship, he's going to have to do something here. Oh, he does. He makes a big dive. Too much of a dive from Talley. Talley goes off track. It's a 0 for Talley. It's a 0 for Talley. What does this mean for the championship? Danny Devine is out. Luke Talley is out. Oh, wow. The championship just got blown wide open here, assuming that Dylan Wilson can keep it together in the next one. What just happened, Adam?
I don't know, Mike. In round 2 we could have blamed the weather, but this time we can't. It's lovely and dry here. Luke Talley really was determined to get up on the door of Dylan Wilson, but unfortunately it didn't work out for him, as we can see him driving across the track here, spitting out a few stones that he took away with him. But
well, I'll tell you what happened. Jake Davey is after taking a big stride forward in the championship here, because Daniel Devine is first on 162 points, Jake Davey second on 142, and Luke Talley is third on 135, assuming that Dylan Wilson doesn't make a big mistake here. We just saw Jake Davey take his place in the top 16. This is going to be a huge one for the championship, to be honest.
Absolutely, Mike's really turned things upside down. We don't always kind of go. The drivers that we would have favoured before we came out this weekend are kind of changing now, to be honest. We're not sure what way this result's going to go.
Yeah.
Who knows? It could be another 220 brake horsepower winning today.
It could, but I don't see it happening, Adam, in the dry. As you come off the first corner, I'm just seeing now if there's an issue here, and there's a good few marshals running onto track and things, media. So no, all is okay, thankfully for Dylan Wilson. As you come off the first corner down off the hill, again, it's hard to see on the live stream, but there's a big elevation change here as you come down off the first corner. The car digs in and grips, and the higher powered cars really slingshot forward. So the higher powered cars on the first straight after initiation, that is between the first corner and the first hairpin, we'll say, they really put out a gap on the lower powered cars. So it is a track like Mondello that horsepower suits.
Absolutely, Mike. Well, Luke Talley has none to hope for, but Dylan Wilson making a mistake here. Either way, Luke Talley is going to come in here, uses the full track to initiate, giving a huge flick, trying to get as much angle on as he can and get all the zones and get as high a score and favour this more his way as possible. Dylan Wilson is not holding back though. He's playing it safe. He knows he has the upper hand here. Oh wait, never mind, Mike. He's making a huge dive up on Luke Talley. He's getting up in the door. I'd say he just touched it, reminding him he's there. A bit of a tap. Luke Talley wasn't affected on, still going around here, putting out a beautiful lead line for Dylan Wilson to follow.
Yeah, Wilson did not need... Oh, Wilson's made a huge mistake there, but it's not enough to make it a 0, I think. Huge smoke from Talley there, maybe catching Wilson out, but Wilson did not need to make that dive into the first hairpin, but I think he did it just for entertainment value there, guys. So, just waiting for the scores to be confirmed on the live stream and going through to the top 16. It is as expected. Dylan Wilson goes through to the top 16, and this championship has just gotten blown absolutely wide open.
How unfortunate, Mike. We won't be seeing Luke Talley's beautiful GT86, GR86, whatever way you want to say it, out again today with that beautiful exemplar Airport Corsillage livery. But we will be seeing Dylan Wilson in his beautiful E92 back out again with us, putting on a bit of a show.
Yeah, what a gorgeous car that is. But Luke Talley in third position in the championship bows out of competition early, just as Denny Devine did. So the championship has been shaken up big time. Now we go to the line again. It is Stuart Gordon, who qualified in 15th, versus Clark Hatton, who qualified in 18th position.
Definitely, Mike, we can see the two drivers lining up on the grid line here under that Red Bull tower. What would you like to call it? Either way, the two drivers are ready and are kicking off into their battle. It is Stuart Gordon in the lead position and Clark Hatton in the chase. Stuart makes a huge dive to try to get as much proximity as he can from Clark Hatton, but Clark Hatton knew he had to go on the inside line there to try to keep up with the pace of Stuart Gordon in that skyline. Stuart Gordon pushes away, but Clark Hatton is trying to use his decels on his advantage as much as possible.
Gordon's gone very wide there, Adam.
Absolutely, Mike, very wide, so it was, but he's still holding down the line. He's getting these zones, and Clark Hatton is trying to get there with him.
Yeah, Gordon doesn't reinitiate there either in time after hairpin 2 there. Seems to delay to get on the throttle, so it's allowing Hatton to get back in this one, that's for sure. Yeah. Look at that car. Hatton's car looks so good, doesn't it?
Absolutely, it's a very detailed livery, so it is, Mike.
Yeah, but Stuart Gordon, of course, you can never knock on our R32 skyline, especially in gunmetal grey. It really is their colour. But just watch here in the replay. Gordon's gone like 2 wheels off forever around zone 5 there. And watch here again. Now Hatton's finding the door, and now Gordon just reinitiates almost. Doesn't quite straighten up, but he's very slow getting back on the power around the second hairpin. So I think any advantage he had from the first part of that run has gone up in smoke, pardon the pun, or so to speak, or whatever. And Hatton now is possibly back in with a good fighting chance of taking this one.
Absolutely, Mike. It could be anyone's battle, as it was in qualifying. These two drivers did qualify quite close to each other, with Stuart Gordon taking 15th place on the board and Clark Hatton in 18th. So these two drivers aren't separated by much, only a few points on the qualifying board. But what way is it going to be when it comes to the battle stages now, as Clark Hatton is in the lead position?
Clark Hatton is in the lead position, slides the car around the start line corner. Now Gordon needs to put in a really good chase here. He's doing good so far here. Look at this one. Gordon finds the quarter panel, but hangs back a small little bit in just as Hatton was about to transition. Now, does Hatton have a better line? He does. Gordon's very caught on the inside here. Not a great chase line for Gordon. He's going to get cut out. He does get cut out. Hatton is on the better line here as well. He's on that perfect lead line. Now Gordon looks for the door, does find the door of the little 2 Series BMW and starts to, pushes Hatton across the line. And it's a great finish there from Gordon, but I'm not sure, is it too little too late, Adam?
It might just be a little too late, Mike. I'm not too sure. Both drivers putting down an unbelievable run just there. Both lead and chase driver. Stuart Gordon was really with Clark Hatton throughout that whole one, trying to get right up on him and get a nudge on that door, maybe put a mark in, but has the result dropped in yet, Mike?
Yeah, it has indeed. Clark Hatton goes through to the top 16. Clark Hatton books his place in the next one against Dylan Wilson. So an all BMW battle coming up for you guys in the top 16. Now, next up on the line, it should be Ericus Nevitskos versus Molly Kerr, I believe, and it is. I see a 350Z and I see a lovely E46, so it must be Ericus Nevitskos versus Molly Kerr. Now, you have to say that Molly Kerr is a little bit outgunned in terms of horsepower here. It's probably about 280 versus 450, 470 here, but it's not a huge difference, and my God, can she pedal this car.
Absolutely, Mike. She knows she's low on the power side of things here. She took a bit of a jump on the line, but is it going to be enough? I don't know. Ericus Naviscaz is making his way around there, trying to play it safe and get into all these zones. He knows he has the advantage in the power in that BMW. Looks absolutely stunning here today, so it does. Molly Kerr taking the inside line, trying to get as much chance of getting the proximity tighter on Eric's Naviscaz, but is it going to be enough, Mike? I'm not too sure. Things could go any way here. We really don't know. Molly Kerr is still putting a consistent lap in here, but Eric's Naviscaz is putting down an outstanding lead run, giving her every opportunity she could need.
You know, a 350Z. A 350Z sounds like Chewbacca going mad about something. If Chewbacca was giving out about something, that's what he'd sound like.
It's actually very, yeah, true. Yeah,
It is. It is. You can't deny it. That's the V6 noise. Molly Kerr there, like we said, a little bit caught for pace. Of course, sister of the now famous Harry Kerr, the winner at round 2, taking out Ryusei Kiba in the final, and another man who, if he decides to get out of bed on the right side, the Belly Money Bandit, we'll call him this round. We'll try to come up with a different nickname for him every round. The Belly Money Bandit, unstoppable. Of course, treated us to the best final we've possibly ever seen here in Watergrasshill a while back when he took out Alan Hines, who was last year's IDS champion, or IDC champion, in fact, last year. Took out Alan Hines in the final, took the 2 wing mirrors off of his car in the process, left and right in the same run. Absolutely crazy. But you know what? The way Molly Kerr is driving, we might be calling Harry Kerr Molly Kerr's brother, not the other way around. She might be the more famous one soon.
You never know. Is Molly Kerr in that 350Z, only V6, and pushing much power she can? Is Eric Naviscaz going to be able to manage the amount of power advantage he has, or is he going to use his advantage to stay on the door of Molly Kerr? Molly Kerr is trying to put down the best lines he possibly can. Eric Naviscaz is using that to full advantage for him, but he has to hold that car back, Mike. He can't put down the foot fully, and it's going to mean he's going to straighten out. He's going to catch grip because of that. I'm not too sure. Molly Kerr pushing her 350 around here in Watergrasshill, just about lipping the wall there, I'd say so, Mike. But Eric Naviscaz was with her the whole way. Quite a clean run for Molly, but a lovely chase run from Eric Naviscaz.
Yeah, a great chase there from Erica. Seemed to just have the pace, and I can hear the thoughts of Molly's mom and dad there, Alwyn and Geraldine. They know that Molly absolutely drove there perfectly, but was outcarred, maybe outgunned, and they're thinking of turbo kits now, or superchargers, and more money and more work to put into this car, maybe to bring the car up to spec. Maybe so, maybe so. Maybe if she's lucky, her lovely brother might give her his car. Absolutely, and going through to the top 16, it is indeed Ericus and Naviscaz going through to the top 16.
Well, Mike, we're going to go back to our one more time once again of Dean Davey and Bartek Lizowski for their battle action here. 5 minute rule was called by one of these drivers to see if they could get their cars up to 100% for the battle.
It was a long 5 minutes.
It was a long 5 minutes, so it wasn't. Even though it seemed like a long 5 minutes, them drivers and their teams only had 5 minutes to work on that car. They did have to be out of the pits and back out here before then.
Yeah, of course, yeah. They would have had the marshals with the timer in the pits there, and once the car was ready to rock and could move out of the pit box within the 5 minutes, they were ready to rock for their battle, and we are back. We will have an all-Davy top 16 if Dean takes it, but he has to get through a hard-charging Bartek Blazejewski first. Davy leads us in 4th place qualifier versus 29th place qualifier. Big gap in qualifying scores. Bartek dabs the handbrake to settle the BMW behind the 180 of young Davy. Dean Davy now with a nice transition, a flick to the left and the right across zone 4 and 5. Bartek is right there with him now. It's a good lead line here. Oh, big dive there from Bartek. Listen to the 6-cylinder scream here. What a dive here. What a fantastic dive from Bartek Blazejewski. Wow, as he crosses the line. Adam, I like that chase there, but a good lead.
Absolutely. That Kart Dean Davies 180 SX was done a beautiful run there, but Bartek was with him as much as he possibly could. Once he got into that first decel zone, he had the advantage to take that in his way and push up as close as he can. So we watched the replay here on the live stream. Bartek was right up with him, pushing up on that door of that Kart 180 SX. Yeah,
I mean, it's good aggressive, maybe not matching the angle there. Bartek mightn't be quite matching the angle of the lead car, which the judges want to see, but you know, across the finish line then he was pretty much. And I really like that chase, to be honest, from Bartek. But Davey there doing a very respectable lead as well. So now we swap them around, lead becomes chase, and we do it one more time.
Absolutely, Mike, will we swap things around, and this time it'll be Bartek Blachowski in the lead position, Dean Davey in the chase position. How's it going to go? Bartek gives huge entry here, trying to get as much speed and proximity away from Mr. Davey himself, but Davey is right with him. He's pushing up as hard as he can, doing what the Davies do, so he is, Mike, in that karting 180 SX. He's trying to stay with him. Bartek putting down a lovely line. Does he drop a wheel just a small bit there, Mike? Dean Davey is not holding back here, trying to get up on the door of Bartek Blachowski. As you can see, both drivers door to door pushing as they cross the line here for a second run of their battle in Watergrasshill.
Yeah, that's a tight one, Adam. That's a tight one. I mean, are we watching a new star being born here with Barty B? I'm not sure, but it's certainly a close one. He's putting it up against the significantly more experienced Davey here, and the higher qualifier as well. Davey qualified in 4th position versus Bartek's 29th, so on paper, you know, definitely an advantage to Davey, but Bartek there having a really nice lead run. So we're going to have to wait for the judges. They're in deliberation. This one is a close one. Guys, can we hear a round of applause, please, for young Dean Davey and Bartek Blachowski. Very lovely, consistent battles, I have to say, Adam. The top 32 can often get very sketchy and very scrappy if the conditions are tough, but sun is shining on us here, and we are seeing much better runs than we saw in qualifying when the conditions seem to be catching drivers out.
Absolutely, Mike. They're two very young and two very talented drivers, so they are, and absolutely proving that to us all here in Watergrasshill.
And it just goes to show this is a one more time, and we've had these running already. The judges are still deep in deliberation, so it just goes to show how closely matched these two drivers are.
We never know, Mike. It could be another one more time.
Yeah, you can have 2 one more times. You have to pick a winner then at the end of the second one more time. So it could be a second one more time for this battle, which is crazy stuff. They'd have had 3 battles in by the time they get into the top 16, which is absolutely tough on cars, to be honest. But it can have its advantages because the winner has gone through then, and he has gone through a tough battle. So he comes into the top 16 really, really up for it, you know. So they're still watching the replay here, Adam. They're watching the initiation, and you know, it's kind of like for like on both runs. I have to say myself, it's been a really close one.
Absolutely, Mike. You'd be a lot more experience than I would in regards to the whole judging side of things. But we can see Tom and Kieran really paying attention to every single moment throughout their battle, both lead and chase, to see where they can divide things up and see who gets what.
Yeah, the one thing might be, if we had to pick a tiny hole, and it might be there in clip 9, that Davey was just very shallow on the transition in order to make up the ground. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough. It's not a big mistake by any means, but this battle is so close. You're looking for little things like that separate them, but I'm sure there was much more to it than that. As they watch a replay one more time here of the other battle where Dean Davey led Bartek, and you guys on the live stream will be able to see this one, of course, as well.
Mike, I've never seen so much concentration on our judges' faces.
Yeah.
They don't want us to go to one more time. They want to put out an answer here. They want to put out a definite answer and make sure it's the right decision to make. But they do look very stressed, as I can see Thomas Falvey here kind of rubbing his head and not knowing what to say even.
Thomas Falvey stressed out of his mind from trying to keep that young fella going in Drift Masters, you know that?
Oh, that young fella, him.
The young Connor young fella.
Very talented, the other young fella as well.
Yeah, exactly. So judges are, coming to a decision. And we can announce going through to the top 16. Believe it or not, guys, it's neither of them. They're going one more time again. Bartek Blachowski.
These two cannot be separated, Mike. Physically and literally.
They cannot be separated. So, guys, the rules state that there can be one more time. Then the judges have to come to a decision. Even if they want to go one more time in the next one, they have to look at the 3 battles. They do actually record everything that happens on paper here. They'll be writing down their notes according as the run goes on and at the end of the run. So if they were edging a tiny bit towards one driver or the other. At the end of the next one more time, they will have to go back on those notes if they can't separate them once again, which I have seen over the years. And yeah, it'll come down to the 3 battles, basically an aggregate of all the battles. But hopefully in the next one we'll get a bit of separation, because this is hard on cars, Adam, as well. It's a tough track on cars, and going 3 times into one battle bracket. I know they had a good gap that time, but it's a tough one. Oh, look at this! Wow, yeah, I didn't realise.
We got Malloy on Malloy.
It's a brother versus brother battle.
Exactly, might be the first, maybe of 2 that we see today. Either way, it's Andrew Malloy taking the lead position versus Peter Malloy, his brother, coming up. BMW and BMW, an older version and a newer version. It's the E36 and E46. 2 opposite contrasts of each other, these 2 cars, but 2 very similar drivers, 2 very talented drivers.
An almost contact there, and wow, Peter Malloy backs out of it there. I mean, Andrew here with the beautifully newly painted E36 almost had to get another lick of paint there. They were swapping paints there, almost, the brothers, and fantastic entertainment here in Watergrasshill. Almost drama. Imagine the dinner table tomorrow night when they got back up.
They're definitely watching this back right now, sat at that dinner table.
Yeah.
And like competing and pointing out, haha, I beat you there. Haha, no, I beat you there. There's 2 brothers and they're going again, Mike. So
yeah.
Don't know, wait, that one's gonna go.
I met their folks yesterday in Group D. They called up for a couple of oil coolers for the lads. I think their oil temps were getting high, and they got some bigger oil coolers. And we were having a laugh up there about the newly painted cars and things, but almost a bit of brotherly love there coming into it. And of course we did see battles here over the years. We had Mike Dean versus James Dean, we had the Linahans way back in the day, and several since. We had father versus son in Tomas Falvey, one of our judges, against his son Connor. We had husband versus wife in Matt Darren versus Ketcha, and yeah, loads of family affairs happening. The Davies versus each other, I believe, as well at one stage. So it's all often a family affair here in Watergrasshill.
Yeah, drifting seems to definitely be a family day out, as this time they swap things around with Peter Malloy taking the lead position in the E46, and Andrew Malloy giving everything he can to get the proximity up, and then Peter Malloy just being a bit shy there of zone 2, a bit too on the outside wide line. You can see that the Turks makes not a huge dive. These both brothers made a huge dive there, but one of them to kind of relax it a bit more and saved it more than the other, and that would be Peter Malloy, who's in the chase position now. Andrew Malloy just dropped a tyre there a small bit as they come up for our zone 7, Mike.
And look at this, these lads are going to be having the time of their lives. They're going to be asking the photographers for the pictures of this one, that's for sure. These are going to the sitting room. Guys, big round of applause for Peter Malloy and Andrew Malloy. And you know, I'm not a judge. Definitely not at the moment anyway, Adam. I might have done it once or twice. But I think it's Malloy and the BMW is going through. And we can announce going through.
I say it is a BMW, Mike.
It is going through to the top 16. It's Andrew Malloy goes through to the top 16.
Andrew
Peter
Malloy in his beautiful looking E36 red and black paint, freshly painted, knocks out his brother Peter Malloy. So Mike, we're going to move on to our next battle, and it is the one and only Power in the tower, but now it's Power on the track. It's Eddie Power out there against the young Alex Butler. Alex Butler, a very young, talented driver. Had some car issues to start today, but seems to have things started out. Alex Butler's in the lead, and Eddie Power comes up here trying to get his proximity as much as he can. Alex Butler, Eddie Powers kind of shoots it out just a bit too much, taking too much of a wide line, kind of messing up and leaving a lot of proximity away from Alex Butler as Alex Butler pushes on, trying to put down his best possibility of a lead run he can. So Eddie has no excuses, can't be putting blame on anything else. Alex still pushing around. Eddie is trying to close up that proximity, as we can see the headlights on that 180SS kind of lifting up with the wind as they push around the track. Eddie Power putting down some lovely runs today, but I don't think this will be enough to take the win on this one, Mike, but they've got to go one more time, so we don't know.
Yeah, wow, two cars that had mechanicals in qualifying there. I think Eddie Power, did he do a half shaft or something?
Something along them lines.
And yeah, Alex Butler possibly doing the same thing. We didn't actually find out exactly what happened there, but the two lads back out managed to get it done in one lap in fact, not one, that's what Kieran Hines says in briefing, clipping point one lap each, and props to them for getting it done. Both battling here now, the higher qualifier. Butler definitely opening out a gap there on our long-standing commentator there, the Power in the tower, Eddie Power, the legend that he is, and definitely an advantage, I would say, to the young gun there, Butler.
I would say so too, Mike. We never know. Things could go the opposite way now.
You
And
know,
Eddie
Adam,
Power could be out again tomorrow.
we can't let Eddie into the top 4. He's not allowed. Even if he wins in the Great 8, we're going to tell him he
I've
lost.
plans for tomorrow.
You've plans tomorrow, like.
Yeah.
So we
either way,
can't. We need a commentator for tomorrow, so.
Eddie Power takes the lead position this time, Mike. Eddie Power in the lead position, trying to put down the best possible lead run, putting on the best line he can for Alex Butler to follow up with him. Alex Butler has a lot more proximity, tighter proximity to Eddie Power this time. Eddie looks like he just dropped the wheel just a small bit there, so he did.
Yeah, really liking Eddie's lead run here, though. Butler definitely has a lot more proximity, but Eddie Power putting down a much better lead run than he did in qualifying, that's for sure. It's a big score for Power. Oh, but look at the dive from Butler. It makes the BMW absolutely leapfrog onto the Tour to 180SX, and they both crossed the line, guys. Let's hear it for the young gun, Alex Butler, and your commentator for tomorrow, Eddie Power.
Eddie Power definitely put on a show for us there, Mike, so he did show he can do both sides of the track.
Indeed, he can do it behind the mic and in front of the cameras. And going through to the top 16, it is young Alex Butler goes through to the top 16, which means that we will have Eddie Power in commentary tomorrow, thankfully.
And I get the day off. Thankfully, I'm not good enough, Mike. I'm only messing. Amazing. Eddie Power will be back up here again with you tomorrow. I'm here trying to fill his small little shoes today, so I am, but he's down there trying to be a driver.
Yeah, absolutely. So once again, even if Eddie Power got to the Great 8 and won that battle, we're going to tell him that he lost it, so that we don't have to give him the option of coming up to Pro tomorrow, just so we can have him commentating. Do you know? So yeah, that is the situation. And once again, the top 4 from Pro 2 today, of course, get to battle it with the pros tomorrow.
Absolutely, Mike.
And it's almost as you were. It's another yellow 180.
It's S13 on S13 here. It's Francis Hines, who has had clutch issues throughout the start of the day, is taking his lead run here while Kieran Lynch is in the chase position. Kieran Lynch took a bit too much of an inside line there and having to make a lot of corrections so he gets right.
Whoa, doctor!
Oh, pushing Francie Hines off the line.
Kieran Lynch, a rush of blood to the head. The scaffolder from Carrick to Far Cork with a massive rush of blood to the head. And you know, I was just going to say, this is Francie Hines's. I believe this is Francie Hines's first ever battle qualifying for it. No, we were told that by none other than Tommy Smith of TS Drift Days, one of our title sponsors and the man who runs the track days down here in Watergrasshill. He said it's Francie Hines' first ever battle, and if that's your first ever battle, what is Francie Hines thinking right now? He was doing his own thing in the lead position, and the next thing, he just got an absolute slap of a 180 into the quarter panel. And we're watching the replay here just to be sure that Francie didn't. No, Francie didn't do anything. Kieran Lynch there just came. It was like
a. Too determined, Mike, is what he was there.
It was like a Munster final there. There was just a shoulder barge, and yeah.
Do you know what? GA and drifting, they often get mixed up, to be fair.
They do.
Very similar sports.
Didn't think Kieran Lynch was a big GA man, no, but definitely a shoulder barge there from.
Kieran Lynch wasn't wasting any time, anyways. He got straight back up to the grid line, so he did, Mike. He got straight back up to the grid line.
He did. He said, "Oh, look, I'm fine." That would be Kieran Lynch. He'd be chilled out. He'd be like, "I'm fine. I'm going in." Once again, Kieran Lynch about 15 minutes away from this track, I think. So no hassle to him to get down here today. Francie Hines a little bit further from Galway direction, and Francie Hines, I think, is due to take it might be 5-minute rule here, but I would believe that the fault was deemed by the chase car, so it should be a competition time out if Francie Hines needs to fix this car, in which case he would get until the end of the competition bracket. But no, he's
like
after changing. I was overhearing that information, but he's after changing his mind. He's pulling to the line, didn't need to check his suspension or anything, said I'm good to go. So we get to go to the second half of this battle.
Absolutely, Francie Hines, who was suffering issues with the car earlier, but looks very, very comfortable, and it doesn't seem to be affecting him this weekend. He's now in the chase position after Kieran Lynch kind of pushing him off the track. So we're going to see a repeat of what just happened there, Mike, or is Francie Hines going to play it safe and just get himself through to the top 16? Maybe that is why he's doing this. Kieran Lynch pushes out on the track, trying to get the zones and get a lot of proximity away from Francie Hines. But all Francie Hines has to do is get a score and make this at least a 5-5 his way, and that's all he needs, Mike. So he does just take it home with him.
Yeah, all Francie Hines has to do here, I would say, is just make it around the track without getting a zero, and he should actually progress to the top 16, because that will be the fault of the chase driver on the first run, which was the defining part of the battle, and they crossed the line. And I think that should be all she wrote for Kieran Lynch. But guys, big round of applause for Kieran Lynch for that shoulder barge there. Very GA-esque and very entertaining. But we can announce going through to the top 16. It's Francie Hines goes through to the top 16 in his first battle. He'll be delighted. And I'll tell you one thing, Adam. And after the lads stop doing donuts. An unusual fact about that battle is that we had two S chassis still with their SR20s inside them. So that's a highly unusual thing to see these days in a twin battle, with two S chassis still both with SRs battling each other. It doesn't happen very often anymore.
Absolutely, Mike. Maybe that's what. Maybe Kieran Lynch didn't like that they both didn't have the same front bumper, so he's like, I'm going to knock that off.
Yeah, silly, he's better anyway.
It did work out in his favour either way, but we'll see him again next round. It is Francie Hines moving his way into the top 16. We're going to go into our next
Jamie
battle.
Hines now
it's
next.
Young Jamie Hines taking the lead position with Matas
Karitis
in the
and young Jamie Hines from Galway leads us in. Matas flicks in the big BMW after, flicks it too hard, washes out wide and loses a lot of proximity to young Jamie Hines as a result. Now Matas looking very good in qualifying earlier on, only qualifying 27th in the end, but he's up and coming every round that we see him. He's getting better. Looking now a little bit lost in the chase position here though, Adam.
I'd say Mike, Jamie Hines is playing this as hard as he can, trying to get the best score on the board for himself, while that chase driver is doing everything he can to follow that line. The crowd are going wild for the two young drivers out here today. Yeah,
two young guns once again in this battle. Great to see it. You love to see it. They're taking the option of their own accord of taking a little bit of a cooling down lap, getting some air underneath. Those cars pull out a bit of hot air from under the bonnet and get a bit of, not cold air, it's not cold here today, but getting cooler air than what under the bonnet is anyway, into the intercoolers and rads of those overstressed cars, I would say.
They're not stressed. They're one owner from new, lady owner.
One lady owner, fully original.
Non-smoker.
Fully original cars.
Fully original, never modified.
Non-smoker, yeah.
Well, that's what insurance is.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Exactly. Just had engine swaps and turbos and all that kind of thing.
Just a few stickers as well.
A few stickers, exactly.
Nothing too fancy.
Yeah, so Jamie Hines looking good there in the lead position, I would say, but let's just have a look. See if there was anything funny on the initiation. The judges are just watching back to replay. If you're watching at home on live stream, you will see what they're watching. I mean, yeah, it looked well. Jamie Hines, Kieran Hines just told me there as well. He mentioned it in briefing this morning too, that the lead car can use, and this is important, guys. The lead car can use 2/3 of the track on his initiation. 2/3. Now, Jamie Hines used the complete track there on initiation. He went over to the right hand side, flicked it back left. Probably just forgot about briefing this morning, which happens in the heat of the moment. But I would say that Matas was a long way back from him. He didn't impede the chase car as such because he already had a good gap opened up. So it's a case by case basis. I guess the judges will look at that one, but they will, Kieran told me, they will be penalising the lead car for using more than 2/3 of the track to initiate, because it's only fair on the chase car that they have their own lane in order to stay alongside the lead car. So
absolutely, Mike, I do agree with you, but will that be enough to determine what way this battle goes? I'm not too sure. We're going to swap things around. Jamie Hines, the young driver, is now in the chase position, while Matas is in the lead position in that BMW. BMW on Sylvia action. Two very good looking cars here as well. Matas kind of does the same thing, using the whole track to initiate as well, Mike, but Jamie Hines is there with him. He's trying to control that car and match what that lead driver is doing and get as close proximity as he possibly can. Jamie Hines, oh Mike, it looks like Matas just dropped the wheel just a small bit there, going a bit too wide on outward zone 4 or 5. Jamie Hines is still there with him, trying to play it safe from what I can see. Being young Jamie Hines nearly stalls the car there, slowing down, taking the inside route around that hairpin, but we're coming across the line. Jamie Hines pushing Matas.
Whoa!
Oh, is there contact
literally
there, Mike?
pushing. Yeah, lots of talking points on this one, that's for sure. Lovely initiation there from Matas, and a pretty nice lead line. Maybe could have been a couple of feet tighter for the perfect one, but watch this from Jamie now. Jamie totally sacrifices number 5 and gets on a very straight handbrake, so a good mistake there from Jamie. Matas looking actually very good in the lead position until the last corner just over the finish line here. Jamie's on very much on the inside of the second hairpin as well. But and thank you guys for your appreciation. Matas goes up on the bank then unprovoked at the finish line, so we wait for the result to come in. And going through to the top 16, it's Jamie Hines goes through to the top 16.
The crowd goes absolutely wild for the young 16-year-old Jamie Hines, first year competing, making his way into the top 16 for the first time, Mike.
Yeah, I think Matas maybe threw that one away there a little bit across the finish line, put two wheels up on the bank unprovoked. And yeah, that's all it takes. Even in Pro 2 and IDS, you have to be flawless pretty much if you want to be knocking down those battles and making your way into the top 16. You have to be pretty much flawless. And guys, we're back once again for the 2 more times. Believe it or not, it's Dean Davey versus Bartek Blazejewski. Get the phones out for this one, guys. We had fireworks in the first 2 battles. We're going to have fireworks in the third battle. It has to be decided this time. Dean Davey leads us in, flicks into 180, followed closely by Bartek.
Absolutely, Mike. This time Dean Davey is in the lead position first, while Bartek is giving everything he can to close proximity. Huge flick there as he come down the back straight here in Watergrasshill. Dean Davey still in the lead position, pushing that Kart 180 SX around the track beautifully, trying to hit every zone flawlessly as best he can. But Bartek is there with him. He is right up on the door of young Dean Davey. You can see another huge dive before they come around here for the last zone. What a run, Mike. You can hear the judges here in the tower clapping. They can't even get over this. It's going to be so hard to call if we're going to see another battle like that.
I'm just wondering, you know, we've seen Maciek Blazejewski many times here in IDC, IDS, and Drift games as well before. I'm just wondering, are we seeing something coming through the ranks here? Are we seeing a new driver coming through that we really might be seeing a lot of in the future? Because, I mean, you can't fault Dave either. Look at this lead run, putting in a qualifying run here up in the high 80s, possibly the 90s from Davey. But look at this, a lovely chase as well from Bartek. And you know, I really like the lead run there from Davey as well, though. And, you can't, if you have a perfect lead run, the chase driver can't really score much more than like a 5.5, 4.5.
It's crazy, Mike. I don't even know what to say. We're switching things around this time. As Bartek's in the lead, Davey in the chase position. How are we going to separate him this time? Bartek using the whole track to initiate, but Davey is there with him, trying to close that proximity. He is with him, Mike. Bartek's a small bit wide, pushing out of our zone 2, not getting rightly in there, but Kart 180 SX by Dean Davey is right there with him, doing the Davey do, so he is, Mike. Bartek's pushing out, drops the tyre though.
Yeah, drops a wheel big time. Barty B there, dropping a wheel. Oh, Davey over-rotates! Davey over-rotates and stops. Is that the defining moment in the battle? Does he have a mechanical issue there? Davey completely stops. Does he know he threw it away? Did the car just lose power? I don't know. I'm out of breath and it's only the top 32.
Mike, I'm sweating after that one. I don't even know what to say. Dean Davey had a bit of an issue there, spinning out the car and just oversteering a bit, but like, I'm smacked. I don't even know what to say here.
Oh, well, they're getting ready to get out of the car here, guys. We want to see a huge round of applause as they get out here. Thumbs up. It's Dean Davey and Bartek Blazejewski, guys. 3 battles in. The crowd enjoying this. We're all enjoying this, I think, here at Watergrasshill today. Pro 2 is always just so entertaining and so crazy. And going through to the top 16. As the result drops in, it is Bartek Blazejewski goes through to the top 16.
Knocking us out of the chance of seeing a Davey on Davey action there in the top 16 battle. But it's definitely one that's going to be really interesting, Mike, because we're going to see Bartek coming up against the brother of Dean Davey, young Jake Davey, in the top 16 battle this time.
Well, we'll have another all-brother battle, exactly. Well, we won't. We would have had another all-brother battle. I thought that's what you said. I got confused for a second.
No,
we won't have it.
The cars are very loud.
They're very loud, yes, exactly. So Bartek, he's not brothers with Jake Davey at all. Totally different family.
Absolutely, Mike. We're changing things around this time for our last battle of the top 32. It's Matt Darren and Nathan Walsh. Matt Darren, a very talented driver, putting some very high scores out. Nathan Walsh making a lot of contact and knocking Darren into the gravel. Oh no, Mike.
Oh yes, Adam. Love it. Absolutely love it. Could he not stop the MX-5? Oh, yeah, hang on now. We have to see here. Was it the lead car's fault? I don't think it was the lead car's fault, but we will have to see because we have drone footage to look at. Right, here we go. Little MX-5 coming in, bigger BMW. Oh, I think the chase driver might have just came in a bit too hot there.
Bit of shoulder action there, Mike.
Yeah, another bit of GA action once again.
Like, just don't forget I'm here kind of thing, you know?
Imagine, like, that MX-5 is not a heavy car. Imagine he must have hit the BMW, like, which would be a significantly more structurally significant car, shall we say. To push him off like that, he must have hit him a good old shoulder. You know, I've been here, again, judging and commentating in this place a long time, and back in the day you would have had more AE86s competing than you do now. A lot more, and many times in entry series like Ultimate Drift or whatever, or Super Drift, we would have seen AE86 versus BMW, and you would have inevitably had collisions. And God help the AE86 when it hit a BMW. Like, you had chassis legs pointing in every direction in the AE86, and maybe the BMW might have had a scratch.
Just maybe. There's a small little mark on the paint, Mike. But after that, we're definitely going to say, from what we can see with the judges here, it is going to be a 10-0 towards Matt Darren. Matt Darren taking the points on that one. So this time around, all he's going to have to do is put down a safe chase run, Mike. And if he does that, it will go his way. But we don't know. Another mistake could happen. Matt Darren could end up driving the Celtic Customs MX-5 off the track as well. Could just be a complete repeat and have another one more time.
Yeah, they'll want to check that everything is pointing in the right direction. I don't think Matt Darren would have suffered a whole pile of damage in that one, to be honest. But
I hope his beard's okay after that.
I hope the beard is alright, because if his beard got disturbed, it's a tragedy. Nobody wants that.
It's the last thing you want, Mike, especially damaging your beard
They've-
while drifting.
They've actually built a roll cage for his beard down off his helmet.
I did hear about that, so I did hear about that. And maybe that's why they're taking a competition timeout right now to go see if that roll cage is alright for his beard.
Get some beard oil on it, get everything back.
Just make sure it looks good. That's the main thing.
Just get everything back as it was before the collision, and you're good to go then again. We might even get him out of the car to have a look at the beard after the battle there.
Absolutely, Mike. Well, from what I can see here from the judging tower, it looks like we're warming up the two cars for our first battle of the top 16.
Yeah, keeping the show going here at IDS always. It's always battle after battle after battle. If you're tuning in at home, share it out, guys. Hit the like, all that kind of stuff. And just make sure to share out this series, because as you can see, it's all action. And this is the Pro 2 competition, where you are seeing some great driving. And remember, we are ready for pro action tomorrow here at IDS Round 3 at Adventure World, Kart World, Watergrasshill. And you know what? All day long, half of these drivers are pro level, to be honest, Adam.
Absolutely, Mike. But don't forget to tune on the live stream as well for tomorrow, because we might see some of these drivers from here today driving as well tomorrow. And once again,
You will see 4 of them, in fact.
most definitely. Once again, a huge shout out to everyone watching on the live stream, especially Sarah sat at home now watching it. Just give me a text there. But we're going to go straight into it. It's the one and only Declan Byrne in the lead position, giving a lovely entry there as Justin Murphy tries closing proximity as much as he can. Whoa, Mike, look at this. The proximity is not much. Declan Byrne just dropping a tyre there a small bit as well, though.
Yeah, Justin Murphy not letting the top place qualifier get away with anything here. Look at this from Murphy, a little bit caught on the inside, transitions it back. Now he has to make the dive right. He's going to stick it to the quarter panel of the Sylvia, not get caught on the transition again. He does it. Oh, look at this from Murphy. Pops out of the smoke on the opposite side. Wow, what a chase on Justin Murphy. My God.
Mike, I am gobsmacked. We're only getting into our first battle of the top 16 and we're seeing things like this. Definitely the chances of Declan Byrne putting down a beautiful lead one there, give Justin Murphy all the room to put down a chase run just like that, knowing he can be confident and send it in hard on Declan Byrne's score.
Yeah, look, and Byrne also drops a wheel there between 4 and 5. Justin, it's not much, but it's enough for another couple of points deduction from the judges. I mean, Murphy, I can't see him doing an awful lot wrong. Maybe he wasn't as wide on initiation as he could have been, but he's chasing. And I think Declan Byrne he's got to do something big here, because, you know, we said it before. If Justin Murphy gets out of bed and says, you know what, I might as well win today. I'm going to try my best to win today. There's not a whole pile of drivers to stop him. 1 or 2 on the grid can stop him, but on his day he is a force to be reckoned with. But Declan Byrne is one of the guys that can stop him, be sure. He showed that by winning qualifying, basically. But can he do it in the chase position?
We'll have to see, Mike. We'll have to see. And we're about to see right now two drivers that are absolutely unbelievably talented and are definitely on form here today. It's Justin Murphy in the lead position this time in his E36 and Declan Byrne in the chase position. What is this going to be like? It's Justin Murphy making a fast entry, but Declan Byrne is there with him, close proximity. Look at this, Mike.
Wow.
A bit of a gap opens up as they come down the back straight, but Declan Byrne is still there with him despite having any issues with the car. He's making that thing do what he needs to do. Look at this, Mike. Right on the door of Justin Murphy. You can hear the crowd clapping for the two drivers. Declan Byrne making a bit of a shallow chase there, but oh my God, I don't even know what to say. Declan Byrne is giving it everything to be on the door of Justin Murphy. What a battle we've just seen here in Watergrasshill. Everybody make some noise for two extremely talented drivers.
Wow. Just wow. Judges watching this one back. Murphy pulls out a gap coming down off the first corner. I mean a slight gap, nothing major. Now Byrne very straight on the dive as well. Murphy doesn't drop a wheel there. He's bang on line. Byrne really has to have perfect proximity. Byrne is on the inside of the track. Murphy drops two wheels, or one at least, a long way over. Possibly drops two wheels, might tilt things back in Byrne's favour. Byrne is shy of 9. It's very close. It's very close. I mean, Murphy had the proximity. Murphy had a better run overall, except for dropping that wheel way over the line on the second hairpin, and I mean way over the line. Of course, he mightn't have been great there on number 2 either.
I'm not too sure, Mike. You can see our judges here beside us really paying attention to see what's going on here.
This is still the top 16, Adam. Sorry?
It's only the top 16. And if you're watching this back at 3 a.m. on TikTok, because this is a replay or something, this is the Pro 2 battles of the Irish Drift Series. Tomorrow we have the Pro 1s. These are only the Pro 2s, the rookies, the juniors, the ones that are trying to make their way up. They have such talent, so imagine what we're going to experience throughout the rest of the weekend.
Oh, I don't know what to make of it. It's so close, and as you said, this is Pro 2. We're going to get to do it all over again tomorrow. The weather's looking good for pro competition. We're going to see 4 of these guys mixing it up with the pros. Of course, that is semi-slick tyres. The cars get faster. The horsepower is on average, I would say, about 200 brake horsepower up on these cars on average, give or take. And you know what? It all gets crazier and crazier tomorrow. But the judges are just watching back. I mean, Byrne drops a wheel not as significantly as Murphy dropped his wheel. As the drivers rev their engines, and the crowd trying to hype him up the crowd, exactly. Guys, who thinks Justin Murphy should have won that one? Who thinks Declan Byrne should have won that one? Oh jeez, the Declan Byrne fan club are out today.
Another t-shirt I'll have to get, Mike, so it is. Declan Byrne making some noise for himself as well. Declan Byrne being a bit of a bold boy there, Mike, trying to do a bit of a burn and put on a show for people, but the marshal made sure to say no to that.
Yeah,
he's sitting there nice and instantly now waiting for his...
the lads are giving out there, our marshals are giving out to Declan Byrne there for being naughty, giving him a telling off. Hopefully not a spanking, that'd be too far on camera.
Maybe a bit too much. Maybe off camera though. Maybe off camera.
Maybe. Hopefully not. Oh, lads, right. Waiting for the judges to give us the result. Still in deliberation here. Obviously mic'd up to each other and having a good old chat about the weather and everything else. Hopefully talking about the battle as well.
Well, Justin Murphy's got sick of waiting. He's going for a walk now.
Yeah, he's
going for a bit of a stroll.
He'll be going for a walk.
Too warm inside that car, I'd say.
Yeah, that was an entertaining one. It was full bore, full commitment. Absolutely flat out battling in the top 16, our first battle of the top 16. Of course, we still have to go back to the top 32 just to settle one more battle between Matt Darren and Nathan Walsh, of course, which we just saw there, the MX5 versus E36 battle. But we do have results coming up on the screen. They're still deliberating though. We're still not getting a definitive answer from the judges.
Well, to be fair, Mike, I wouldn't like to be a judge in this situation. I don't know how to separate these two drivers. There's a lot to work on there. Not a lot to work on, but a lot for them to work on choosing who's who's going to win.
Yeah, tough day for judging so far, I must say. Nothing awful clear cut.
Once again, while we have the time, we may as well give a huge shout out to our 2 title sponsors, Red Bull and Lucky Day Competitions, along with many other of our sponsors such as Shift AM, our official media sponsor for 2025, CDM Sport, Group D, Nizuba Motorsport, Turn Tire Distribution, Strom Wheels, which you can see a lot of our drivers running today, along with ECU Master, making sure our engines and all are safe, GMD Tire and Service Centre, Yugen Factory, TS Drift Days, and Drift Magazine. And Mike, we just got a result.
Yeah.
What is it?
While you were shouting that out, we did get a result, and guys, this is going to be a crowd favourite. We are going one more time! Yeah, I think, you know what, if I had to call it, well, I don't know, Murphy put a wheel really off there at the second hairpin at corner 3. If I had to call it, I thought that Murphy might have edged it on proximity, but he dropped the wheel so far off there. I think it just, to be fair, it brought it back on level terms, and I'm not going to complain. I want to see that one again.
I absolutely want to see that again.
So, we get to see that one again, and in the meantime, we have to move it along to what we can call a giant killer now. Colin O'Sullivan on his way to this top 16. He took out none other than Danny Devine, who was leading this championship up until today. Might not be at the end of the day, I would say. This is round 3 of 5, so every round super important, obviously, for scores. It's 20% of your year. It's not like an F1 season where you can drop a race and easily still take the championship, because 5 rounds is a small number of rounds, and he is going up against the hard charging and the higher qualifying Alan Connaughton.
Absolutely, Mike. 2 drivers that both absolutely deserve to be in the top 16 battles here today in round 3. And we're going to be kicking off with Alan Connaughton in the lead position, followed by the young Colin O'Sullivan, who was only studying his leaving cert there yesterday, but now he's out on track trying to get points on the track rather than on the books. It's Alan Connaughton in the lead position, Mike.
Yeah, Alan Connaughton there with quite a tentative run up actually to the initiation point. Not sure. Yeah, I thought he was looking slow, all right. And Sully initiates the overtake on the inside, wild sideways. What a hero! What a move from Sullivan there. And I thought Connaughton was looking very slow on the initiation, all right. And unfortunately, there the Zinky S14, maybe a boost pipe, seems to be running and moving under its own power, but not a lot of it, and stops there on track at the end. So definitely we'll have a 5-minute rule called here for Alan Connaughton. And as you said, Adam, sometimes these ECUs of course have fail safes built in depending on the tuner mapping that into the car, but looks like he just lost all power there. Sullivan undertaking him on the inside, wild sideways, very stylish. 10 points from me for that. Connaughton still moving under his own power, so often that can be a symptom of if the car's on a map sensor, it can be just like a boost pipe coming off. It will still run, but you obviously have no forced induction, and yeah, you don't have any power.
Well, hopefully so, Mike. It is only something simple, because that's all we want to see. We never want to see a driver knocked out of something that's out of their control, especially some car failures. Yes, word has just come in there. A 5-minute rule has been called for Alan Connaughton to go in and check on his car there. Just make sure everything's up to scratch, fix whatever the issue was there, see if there was any errors popping up on the ECU. But until then, we're going to move over to our next battle, I think so. I can see Colin O'Sullivan back up in the line. Very eager to get back out there, Mike, so he is.
Yeah, aggressive, an aggressive young driver. Definitely has that in his locker. You need that, to be honest, to be a real competitor and a winner. You need that want. You need that bloodlust for the win. And Colin O'Sullivan definitely has that. Getting to the line, looking for the battle to start as soon as possible, but he will have to wait for the 5 minutes as he cools down his S14, and we are seeing the last battle of the top 32. Once again, we keep this moving, guys. We don't stop at the end of the battle bracket. If there's a delay, we just keep it going. There was a little bit of time there to check over both cars after the collision on the initiation there between Nathan Walsh and Matt Derrin. So we're ready to rock with the second half of that battle, and I would say that it's a 10-0 to Matt Derrin, Adam. Would you agree?
I would agree, Mike. Unfortunately, Nathan Walsh did cause a bit of an error there, pushing Matt Dern off the track there after the initiation and zone 1 before zone 2, pushing him into the gravel. So things will be facing towards Matt Dern's way. We're going to change things around. I can see here in the burnout.
We might see the beard.
We might see. Hopefully the beard's okay, Mike.
Hopefully,
I
don't know. Hopefully the beard. It wasn't a big collision. The beard is probably fine.
Yeah, sure.
I'd imagine.
Sure. Just blew in the wind.
They'd have the cage and the beard wax and everything.
I can see Nathan Walsh down in the warm-up box, just having a bit of a look at the car, getting one of the marshal just to make sure everything looks right. I'm not sure if you just caused issue inside there, because it could very simply happen, Mike.
You mean putting a V8 into an MX-5 and then putting a turbo on it could cause problems?
Small engine and a huge car, never.
Small engine and a huge car.
Yeah.
Other way around.
I knew what I was doing there.
So, Sean Healy there, my good friend and our head marshal today, our track controller today, has told us that Nathan has a broken tie rod on the line, so probably damage sustained from the collision there. I would imagine it's the front left. Bit of common sense would say there was, maybe not, but broken tie rod on the line for Nathan Walsh, and unfortunately, well, look, Adam, it's better that it happened here rather than on the way into the first corner, because that could lead to a roll in Watergrasshill if you go up the bank here. We've seen it a couple of times at this stage, so it's better that it happened there rather than on initiation.
Absolutely, safety is always number one priority here, especially within the Irish Drift Series. All these cars are set up at the most the high spec and up to scrutiny safety gear between cages, harnesses, bars, everything to make sure they're safe no matter what happens. Do they have the best fighting chance to be safe inside these cars?
Yeah, okay, so this is an interesting one. Sean has just told me that Nathan Walsh is calling a 5-minute rule, and he can, because they gave Matt Dillon a competition timeout in order to check over his car on the last one, because it wasn't his fault that the potential damage would have occurred. It was his competitor's fault. So then he's the innocent party. He gets a competition timeout in order to properly check his car and make sure it's right, because he wasn't at fault. So they used Matt Dern's timeout, competition timeout, came back out. Nathan Walsh then has a mechanical issue, so he's allowed to call his 5-minute rule while, because he hasn't called it yet, he hasn't used it yet. So basically, Nathan Walsh is now calling 5-minute rule, and we'll get back to the top 16 on the left-hand side of the bracket.
Absolutely, Mike. Everyone seems to be determined to stay here today. No one wants to go. They're dragging it out. Between one more times, 5-minute rules, competition times out. It is a lovely day here in Watergrasshill, to be fair. No one wants to. I wouldn't want to go home either. I don't want to go home. I have a great crack.
Like a lot of tracks in Ireland, we have to be finished for 6 o'clock. We're still in plenty time. We're well into the top 16, and it's only just after 25 past 4, so we are good to go. People over in the bank are enjoying themselves. Hey! They're getting doing the Irish thing, lads. Bring on the sunscreen there, because you know the crack, like the sun comes out in Ireland, we all just get scalded.
It's an overcast day here yesterday, and I managed to somehow get sunburnt, Mike.
I'm going to bring in the motorbike tomorrow anyway, Adam. That's what I'm going to do, because everyone's enjoying themselves, and I might as well, because I didn't see the thing in 3 weeks.
I might bring the pedal bike.
The pedal bike.
I'm not
that fit. I'm an hour and 20 minutes from here, so I'm definitely not that fit. Probably won't be great either tomorrow if I bring that Ducati, because it's not comfortable, so I'll be stretching tomorrow after I get here if the weather stays right. I'm only a young fella, I'll be grand.
Only a young fella.
Yeah, I'm only a young fella. So Nathan Walsh with the 5-minute rule, thankfully. And we were just saying it, after Drift Masters in Finland last weekend. Drifting, it's such a great sport in the dry, but my God, in the wet, it changes things. It can be tough in the wet. Bishop's Court at the last round, the conditions made it so difficult.
PTSD from him, Mike?
It was, well, we walked. We're not a pity. We were actually inside for the whole thing in a container, to be honest, so we were grand. But we walked out of the container to do the podium, and down from the pits. Obviously, it's an airfield, and I don't know, drainage probably wasn't a massive part of the plans when building a World War II airfield. So there was literally about an inch or an inch and a half of water running down at the base of the stairs. So we just literally had to walk through about an inch and a half of water to get to the podium. It was crazy. I felt quite sorry for myself, but nobody else did. So
I always say it whenever you go drifting, Mike, you either need an umbrella or else you need sunscreen. It's one or the other.
You need an umbrella to keep the rain off, or an umbrella to keep the sun off you. One of the two. As we get Nathan recovered.
Absolutely, Mike. You can see the recovery truck out here getting him in.
Of course, he was in the burnout box there, hence why we're not warming any other cars, obviously there could be a safety issue. Even the cars could even kick up a stone there quite easily. Obviously this is a go-karting track, and there's a little, not an F1 level of runoff on the sides, I would say, but there's a little bit of runoff in the stones there, and they can get dragged onto the track. And when you have a car doing quite often a second gear donut, the wheel speed, the wheels could be turning easily at 60 miles an hour, and if they throw up a stone, it can be quite the missile. So just waiting to get this car recovered before getting the other cars warmed, as the Shanahan's recovery machine, which can be seen sometimes, definitely 9 or 10 cars high, but not today, just one, and only an MX-5 as well, so well within safety. But nearly to go to the Red Bull Tower, but didn't quite.
Absolutely, Mike, absolutely. We may as well take this moment to give a huge shout out to all our marshals out on track this weekend as well, making sure the track is clear and safe, picking up any debris, knocked off cars, along with all the media crew that are out there as well. I know what it's like to be down there. I used to be a media man myself. Experiencing my first few drift events as a media fella, taking photos of Tom Murphy back in the day when he used to be out drifting. And I know it's absolutely great crack to be down there as well, but there's a lot of work that they put into it as well to make the great content that we see online, so a huge shout out to all them.
Yeah, and that camera equipment can be quite expensive, so well done to all the media crew, that's for sure, bringing all the best moments from this great championship to everybody at the other side of the screens of their phones these days. And hopefully you guys are enjoying it here and enjoying it watching live on YouTube, and keep the comments coming in. We'll get to those very soon as well. So we move down to the line again.
Absolutely, Mike. It is up next. We will have Bartek, if I am correct.
Absolutely, indeed, you are. It is the second half of the run from Alan and first one, sorry, Alan and Bartek.
On another one of the Davy brothers, so it is, Mike. This time he's taking on the younger brother, Jake Davy, one of the most talented drivers in the Pro 2 series at the moment. Jake Davy in the lead position as Bartek pushes it around, trying to get close proximity up on that other car, Carton Sylvia here in Watergrasshill. Jake Davy making a very fast flick there, throwing on a lot of angles, deselling, but Bartek just spins there. I'm not too sure, was that due to the lead driver, Mike?
Yeah, Bartek coming in very hot there, backed out of it. Looked like an unforced error to me, because that is a deceleration zone. We will watch it back on replay to make sure, and Bartek shuts it down. And unfortunately for Bartek, looks like that'll be a 0 for him, but let's just see, just in case there was anything funny there from young Jake Davy, who is flying high in this championship. Guys, I would say if Jake Davy wins this battle, he's going to be leading this championship, which is absolutely unbelievable for a junior driver. I mean, Davy didn't do a whole pile wrong there. I didn't see any sudden deceleration.
Nothing that is standing out to me either, Mike. And as I said, he'll be leading the championship. He's not just a junior driver, Mike. He's actually the youngest driver, from what I can see, in the whole series at the moment. He's only 15 years of age.
Yeah, definitely in this top 32 anyway, the youngest driver. Jamie Hines is 16, I believe.
16, correct?
Yeah, so yeah, definitely the youngest driver. And looking good for both leading the junior championship, I would say, at the end of the day. We'd have to verify that. And the Pro 2 championship outright.
Absolutely. Well, we switch things or swap things around, as you like to say, Mike. Well, this time Bartek is in the position and Jake Davy in the chase.
Yeah, we'll have to check on that junior championship, but let's move it along to the Pro 2 series.
Bartek in the lead position, just going, taking a wider line out of choice there, and Jake Davy trying to follow him and match as much as he can. It is a 10-0 towards Jake Davy at the moment, having the advantage, so he obviously just needs to put in a safe enough chase run here, as you can see him appear just through the smoke off of Bartek's E36 SD Aero sponsored BMW. Mike, what a battle. I dropped the microphone there, that's what happened there.
Yeah, absolutely. As we were getting information there from Tommy Smith that Jake Davies actually wearing a boot at the moment to keep his leg together. So great driving from him in the conditions. Absolutely crazy stuff. And yeah, I think it's actually Alex Butler that's leading the junior championship at this stage. But Jake Davy might be leading the Pro 2 championship all right. And we can announce going through to the Great 8. It's Jake Davy goes through to the Great 8, guys. No surprise after that run. So Jake Davey goes through to the grade 8, and I'm going to say that in the process, Adam, I'm going to say that he's leading. He now has to be leading the Pro 2 championship.
He sure does, Mike, the youngest driver, and he's leading the championship. Someone definitely proud of, and a bit of a boasting right there at home, because his family is a big drifting family, with his father, Nicky Davey, being in the Pro 1 championship, and his elder brother, Dean Davey, being in the Pro 2 championship as well. We're going to go back to our battle now. It is Colin O'Sullivan versus Alan Connaughty.
Alan Connaughty, yeah, the battle I thought was coming up last, because it's actually above the one we just witnessed in the bracket. But looking at the line, reveals that it is indeed Colin O'Sullivan versus Alan Connaughty. Remember, Alan shut it down on the first one, so a huge disadvantage here to the Zinky S14 versus the Cookie S14 of Colin O'Sullivan. Leads us in. Alan Connaughty looking like he has no such issues this time. Colin O'Sullivan now doing everything pretty much right, and you know, all Colin O'Sullivan has to do here is not make a big mistake, and he's booking his place in that all-important grade 8, and you're only one battle away then from making it through to the finals, and of course to the battle bracket tomorrow. Big mistake there from Connaughty as well.
Looks like a spin there for Alan Connaughty, Mike, so it does. Colin O'Sullivan finishes out his run, putting out a solid line the whole way through, so that will be a 10-0 towards Colin O'Sullivan, the young Kerry man.
Yeah, so just double checking that there was nothing funny on that issue there for Connaughty as the judges watch the replay back, making sure that all was in order from the lead car. Sullivan nicely around the first hairpin and making his way up to the second hairpin. Yeah, I mean, Sullivan's on throttle there. There's nothing wrong with that, Adam, I think, to be honest. So judges just double checking, and the results will drop in, and we can announce it is Colin O'Sullivan goes through to the grade 8, making it official.
Definitely something for the young Kerry man to be proud of. As far as I know as well, Mike, this weekend it is his birthday as well.
Yes, correct, actually.
Yeah, it actually sure is. So bit of an early happy birthday there to the young Colin O'Sullivan, making his way into the grade 8. Definitely exactly what you want to spend your birthday doing, isn't it? You might even see tomorrow, Mike.
It is indeed exactly the way that you'd want to spend your birthday. And we're going back, guys, once again. I'll just wait till the okay, so just waiting for the noise to subside there. So Declan Byrne and Justin Murphy we're back on the line for, and it is going to be one for the ages here, guys. Get the phones out, keep the eyes glued to the live stream. This is going to be a crazy one. If the first one was anything to go off, Byrne leads us in, highest qualifier leads us in. Murphy is in very, very close pursuit here. Look at this from Murphy once again. Byrne totally misses outer zone, or inner zone 2, I always do that. Zone 2, Murphy now not great either himself on the clips over the straight. But look at this, Byrne drops wheels. It's a lot scrappier this time. Maybe both drivers pushing to 110% this time, Adam.
Definitely, Mike. You can see Justin Murphy making a bit of a mistake there, going out a bit too far. But as that due to Declan Byrne pushing out right to the edges of the track, I'm not too sure. There's a lot more proximity between them this time, Mike, as you said. Declan Byrne in the lead position, as you can hear the crowd clapping for him as he walks by, and Justin Murphy getting ready and steadied up for his turn in the lead position for their one more time battle. So we can see here, Mike, both drivers taking a quick lap around the track, maybe just some time to talk to their spotters and just cool down them cars as well. You can see Declan Byrne is eager to get back on the line and get straight into this. He's determined to take the win home with him and get his way straight into the grade 8 here for round 3 in Watergrasshill. So you can see both drivers getting their tires ready and lining up on the line. This time Justin Murphy in the lead position. So we're getting straight into it for our second run of the one more time of Justin Murphy and Declan Byrne here in round 3 in Watergrasshill. Justin Murphy in the lead position. giving it a long drag of the handbrake to get his initiation, but Declan Byrne is there with him the whole time. Big dive from Declan Byrne there up on top of the door of Justin Murphy, trying to keep close proximity the whole more time. Bit of contact there, Mike, from what I can see from Declan Byrne pushing up on Justin Murphy.
Yeah, definitely contact, but not enough to upset both drivers. They managed to avoid the hole of death there at the side of the track this time. They swap it over, and yeah, you got to say really great proximity there that time from Byrne in the chase.
Absolutely, Mike. What an outstanding run. That's more like what we saw in the first battle between the two of them. And from what I can see, Mike, I think it might just be heading towards Declan Byrne's way after that. That's not my official answer yet, though. I can hear people screaming.
Yeah.
I'm not a judge, I'm only a commentator, and leaving the three old men here beside me choose what happens.
Absolutely, guys. They're getting out of the cars. Your appreciation means everything to them. Can we hear a round of applause, please, for two great battles from Declan Byrne and Justin Murphy? Once again, judges looking back on the replay here for confirmation on this one. I mean, you have to admire Byrne's chase that time. It was almost Justin Murphy-esque from the first battle. And we will get the graphics on the screen and make it official what the judges have concluded for that one, to see who books their place in the grade 8. Is it Justin Murphy? Is it Declan Byrne?
We can
they watch it again.
Here. Yeah, they are, Mike. We can see him here behind us, taking another look. Seeing was there any flaws they can find between the two runs. See was the lead driver faults at any point as to why there was contact caused. You can see there on the live stream that Declan Byrne made 2 labs of contact there on Justin Murphy in that decel zone there around clip 5 and 6 in the first hairpin.
I've heard Kieran Hines say drifting is a non-contact sport more times than I'll ever care to remember, but it didn't really upset Murphy. He stayed in it.
He's determined. He doesn't seem annoyed about it, because we can see Dennis Murphy and Declan Byrne here having a chat on the track. Jason Murphy is out of the car there, ripping off that race suit.
Yeah,
he's getting a bit too warm. He's
giving us a bit of a show there on track.
All right. Woo! Well, Declan Byrne's out of the car now to give us a bit of a show as well.
Yeah, Declan's showing off the beard and the whole thing now. I just can't wait to see Matt there, and if he gets the win, I just want to see the beard.
We just want to see the beard, yeah, that's right, yes.
I mean, Byrne in the first one was 2 wheels off track as well, possibly, definitely 1, but Murphy hit the hole of death. The black hole, what do we call it? I don't know. The
hole of death sound.
The hole of death.
It's catchy, yeah.
It's going to kill somebody's car, to be honest, so the hole of death it is. A little bit sketchy on both of the runs. Well, the first one was sketchy.
The 2 lads are laughing and joking now there, Mike. They are looking at the marks in each other's door, being like, haha, I put that there.
Spending at least 20 quid of race fuel ticking over there on the line as they wait for the judges to make up their minds. And the judges watch this replay one more time of Murphy leading now, transitioning back. A lovely flick from Byrne, and here's the contact from both drivers. But I mean, Murphy is a bit shy of the clip, but does he miss it over Byrne? I don't know. It's a very tough one. We could see it. We could see the second one more time of the day.
Maybe so, Mike. We can see our judges are still here looking at it. I can see the one and only, our head judge, Kieran Hines, still looking at this, but it seems like he might have just about made a decision now, Mike, so it does. So we might have a result popping into us, or it could be another one more time.
Yeah, it could be, but we can announce going through to the grade 8. It's not a one more time, it's Declan Byrne goes through to the grade 8. And Justin Murphy, a great effort from Murphy there, but unfortunate to meet Declan Byrne. I don't think that there was many more going to stop him today the way he was driving. But a great effort there from both drivers, and Declan Byrne just has enough just to beat a hard-charging Justin Murphy. Justin Murphy tries to do away with his Jay-Z there at the end.
Sure, I don't need it for the rest of the day, he says. I'm just gonna blow this one up, sure. But either way, Mike, we're gonna go back to our one more time.
Yeah,
sorry, I'm incorrect. We're not going back to our one more time. It's Marcus Heinen on the line.
It's a young gun versus an OG battle. Andrew Kinna has been driving with Team Just Jap. Bart and Yodi, they were known as way back in the day with a PS13 and a 180SX. That's a long time ago. I'm talking 2009. Maybe. He's back in action in an Altezza with a 2J. Marcus Heinen also has a 2J in the more common Sylvia chassis Who's going to come out on top? We'll know in a couple of minutes' time. Heinen very straight there, Adam. Very, very straight. Lack of angle from Heinen there in the chase position initially. Andrew Kinnan looking pretty good so far.
Absolutely. Andrew Kinnan is getting a lot of proximity away from that chase driver Marcus Heinen. So maybe that's why Marcus had that bit of a straight in there, trying to straighten up and get a bit of speed to come up on the door of Andrew. But Andrew's pushing that Altezza chassis around Watergrasshill here like it's absolutely nothing. Such a huge chassis, and he's making it look like, sure, there's only a little MX-5 or something. Sure.
Yeah, exactly. But okay, let's see Heinen here. So okay, yeah, I mean a little bit wide there to be fair from Kinna. Heinen was very straight, but was Heinen actually put off? We might watch that one again. Heinen might have lost his angle just because Andrew Kinna was cutting back in after missing zone 2. So have to look at that one again, see what the judges make of it. They're watching the drone replay here. Heinen also cut the track a lot on the wall. But I don't know, was that mistake in the first corner the lead car's fault? We'll have to go back to the judges on that one. But I was speaking with Marcus Heinen's dad, Marcus Heinen, Senior, and he said just earlier there that he said that Marcus just wants to get used to the new car. Of course, he spent his formative years in a BMW. Now in the Silvia, get used to the car and get a season and maybe get a top 10 would be his goal, and then look towards making it into the pro class after next year.
Absolutely, Mike. Well, he definitely has the ability to do so. As you can see him, he's already in the top 16 here in Watergrasshill for round 3. And could he make his way into the Grade 8? We're about to find out as they go on to their second battle. It is Marcus Heinen Jr. in the lead position, followed by an old school name, as you said, Mike, Andrew Kinnan.
Yeah, absolutely, but very much a new school car for him. The Altezza, a new build for the RT Automotive man. Heinen maybe a little bit over to the right hand side once again. Oh, and Kinna throw it away. Wow. Like I said, Heinen was a little bit over too far to the right in my estimation. Watch this. Well, they're allowed 2/3. Maybe he was 3/4. Oh, there's contact. There's contact.
So Andrew Kinnan does seem to straighten up before.
Watch this.
The
Watch
contact
this
as well, so it does look like it wasn't the lead driver's
fault.
fault.
Does Heinen shallow up though? It looked like he might have just lost angle. This is where the drone footage is absolutely invaluable. I mean, if you're watching that in the flesh, the judges are actually at kind of the wrong angle to see in this track. You can see the contact there. You can see it from this angle, to be fair, as well. But it's a difficult corner without the advantage of the cameras to judge because of the angle that we're at here in the tower. So, it's looking, I don't know, it's looking like it's going to come down to a tough decision here.
Once again, Mike, I always say, and I'll continue to say it, I'm so glad I'm on the commentary side of this tower and not one of the old folk there that are doing the judging, because they may be old folk, but they're wise, and there's a reason they're there. They're well experienced, and they know the rules, they know the regulations and all this. And
they make the rules.
They make the rules.
Yeah, Kieran Hines actually
they
makes the rules.
They actually make them,
not alone does he know them, he makes them. So
yeah. So he has to follow them though, but that's the reason he's there. He knows them better than anybody else, and that's why they're here.
You got to follow the rules of life. Don't let them change your mind. Take a good look inside and do the right thing.
This is drifting, not karaoke.
You know that song. You're a DJ.
Yeah,
You're not that old though.
Yeah, you are.
I am. Both DJing tonight.
We are. Well, if you want to see me, I'll be down in the Blasket Tralee.
We'll be flying it tonight now. I'm in Kanturk.
Yeah.
Trying to stay away.
Back here again tomorrow.
Trying to stay away from the beverages on sale now tonight in the pub is what I'll be doing, because I'm on duty again tomorrow as you are. So trying to stay away from temptation now tonight will be the problem. So John Shanahan is out in the is it John? I think it is, in the lovely Hilux. Is that a Hilux Surf? Would I be right?
Could be, Mike, could be. I can't really see it from here. I won't be too familiar with them all stuff, but I did see it while it was passing by there. It's John Patrick, a load of blokes.
Yeah, watch
Lad
this.
in the back there, eating a bag of potatoes. Getting ready to
drinking pop.
drag the boys out.
Oh, I don't know. Did Marcus just? I mean, it's hard to call. I think Marcus definitely lost angle. But watch here now on the replay. It's hard to know, did he? Because the drone actually starts to pass out the cars, and it actually just makes it look like Heinen was losing angle. But is it just the fact that the drone is actually overtaking the cars around the back makes it kind of look like that. Is it a visual illusion as such? I mean, the people on the bank there would have had the best view of this one by far. The people just at the between 1 and 2 would have had a fantastic view of this one. There was contact, but Kinna, I mean, if there was contact like that, should it have not actually put Kinna's nose into the right rather than, is Kinna going off? Does Kinna get the understeer in the Altezza and go off anyway? I mean, oh, it's such a tight one. Yeah, almost takes the drone out as well, as Tommy Smith pointed out there in the process. So watching it back here again on replay. If you're here at the track, guys, pull out the phones. You're going to get 40 replays of this one. Go on to YouTube. I mean, the judges are deep in discussion about this one, quite rightly so. It's very tight. And if once again, if you're here at the track, have a look at this on YouTube. It's an extremely, extremely tight call. And of course, this is for replacing the Great 8. One more battle after this. You're in the finals and you're in with a podium shot. Guys, as they're down there, can we have a round of applause for Andrew Kinna and Marcus Heinen, please? They're going to have a good discussion. Marcus will be like, what happened there, boy?
I don't know, boy. What happened? I don't know. What happened? You hit me. No, I hit you. What happened there?
That's what Marcus is going to be saying. Oh, but yeah. Always interesting. Always a good one to watch is Pro 2. Always incident packed and talking points packed. Very lucky to have the drone footage there. And I think the drone operator actually was so fast that he gave the drone altitude to get it out of the way of the Altezza. If you watch the replay back, he actually seemed to gain some altitude really quickly. But our drone pilot, of course, he's actually he races these things, so he's probably not too bad on the old remote control for that one.
Well, Mike, our judge is still in discussion here. We can see the two drivers down on track as well having a bit of chat about it. No one really knows what way this is going to go.
Yeah, if you want to check out our drone operator's antics there, he's Colin. He's Irish champion, actually. Core Air FPV. He's actually the Irish drone racing champion. So definitely not a bad man at the controls of that one. And we have graphics on the screen. And do we have a result is the question. Marcus Heinen looking very serious there on the screen, and Andrew Kinna looking delighted with life.
The lads are here still in deep discussion, Mike. Trying to figure out what to say.
Still deep in discussion. We might get an old Mexican wave going there, or the Macarena going or something to pass the time here.
Once a decision is made on this call between Andrew Kinna and Marcus Heinen, we'll be going back to our one more time of Matt Darren, or sorry, not our one more time, after our 5-minute rule of Matt Darren and Nathan Walsh.
Well, we do have a result, Adam, after dropping in. It's a crazy decision to have to make, but we can announce going through to the Great 8. It's Marcus Heinen goes through to the Great 8. Andrew Kinna bowing out, and Kieran Hines, that one was a little bit crazy. Obviously a very, very tight call. What swung you in favour? What swung you in favour that time of Marcus Heinen?
Yeah, it all comes down really to the first corner, obviously the incident there, right? So initially when we first watched it, okay, we see it looks like Andrew's coming in just a little bit too hard. Tags the back of Marcus and goes off, okay? Then we watch the replay and we see Marcus having a little bit of a lift. Now here's the thing, right? If you watch the competition today, so many cars in the lead position are going down the hill and having little bit of wobbles, little things, and you have the chase car behind correcting it and being able to deal with it. So if there's a case where there's a little correction and then the chase car makes contact, well then you are in a situation where you're going to be looking at the lead car to see where they're the reason for it. In this case, when we look at the replay, we see Marcus has a little lift, but we do not have enough of evidence to turn around and say this is the reason why the contact happened. Because the other reason why the contact might have happened is because Kenna came in on a shallower line, came in a little bit too hot and made contact with the car and basically couldn't deal with what Marcus has done in front of him. So for us to blame Marcus for this incident, we would have had to see clear evidence that he lifted off the throttle and slowed. And there isn't the evidence there. From our position here, from what we can see, and from our replay, and from the drone, none of them show clear evidence that was the lead car's fault. In that case, then it falls back on the old rule, with the absence of having any information to blame the lead car, we have to go back to the chase car to be at fault.
There you have it. Thank you very much, Kieran Hines. Very clearly explained there. And, as I said, the drone angle a little bit deceiving there in terms of it was passing out the rear of both of those cars and made it maybe look a little bit like high and lifted, but it wasn't much. And, Kenna was having that understeer anyway. So there you have it. That's it explained. But we have to go back to the last battle of the top 32. Again, after that 5-minute rule, remember, it is 10-0 so far to Matt Darren against Nathan Walsh. We're going back to the top 32 just to finish off that battle bracket. And a big mistake from Walsh in the first one.
Absolutely, Mike. As this sits, it is a 10-0 already to Matt Darren. So we're waiting to see how this gets on. Matt Darren just has to put down a safe chase run here against Nathan Walsh to take this battle home with him. But Nathan Walsh giving it everything he can, hoping for the best to make his way into the top 16. They both get across the line. Nathan Walsh creating absolutely loads of smoke from that small little MX-5 with a V8 power, Mike.
Yeah, it is both turbo V8s in these cars, so fantastic builds there from both. Might get to see the beard from Matt, but
we can see it just there as he pushes his car.
Are we going to see? We see the beard, guys. Big round of applause for Matt Darren's beard, and bigger round of applause for Matt Darren and Nathan Walsh in the top 32, and just waiting to make that one official. And we're going to blast it through the rest of the top 16 and the grade 8 because we have 1 hour to finish this competition. And going through to the top 16 on that side of the bracket, it is of course Matt Darren goes through to the top 16. Nathan Walsh, big mistake in the first one. And thankfully after all that, Matt Darren, there is one strand of hair out of the way, but his beard has survived.
It's okay, it'll survive. We'll see it again in the next round, maybe even a bit longer, you never know.
And he will face off against Jamie Hines.
Oh, that'll definitely be an interesting battle. From the form that Jamie's on today and Matt Darren, it'll definitely be a very interesting battle. Like, anyway, we're going to go into another battle of our Great 8.
Top 16, in fact, on the right hand side. Yeah,
apologies.
we're lining up the Great 8, but the top 16, it's Dylan Wilson versus Clark Hatton on the line, and Dylan Wilson, as the higher qualifier in second place earlier today, leads us in against young Hatton. It's all Jay-Z all the way. It's all BMW. Look at this from Wilson. Really nice line, but Clark Hatton seeming to find his feet in this car now, getting more comfortable in this little M2 chassis, is right there with him now, has to put foot to floor if he's to stay on that quarter panel of Wilson. Wilson getting away a little bit. Now does Hatton start to find the door? Not quite. Little bit of a gap there, I would say. Oh, look at this.
Huge dive from
almost
Clark
a collision
there, Mike.
And across the line. Adam, what's your thoughts on that?
I must say, Mike, Clark Hatton looked very, very comfortable throughout that as well. He knew he could put it up onto the door of Dylan Wilson, and he feels very comfortable in that car from what we can see up here. Dylan Wilson does seem to be having a bit of an engine issue from what we can see here, Mike. There's a bit of in a technical term, weird sound.
A weird
as he
sound,
passed the judging tower, and we can see some of the...
sounded like an interface between bodywork and something that's not supposed to be touching bodywork.
Absolutely. I'm hoping it's just tyre smoke that's still leaking out of the back of that car and not some smoke coming from the engine bay as we can't see from here.
Yeah,
up in the tower, but
I did hear a weird sound. It just sounded like bodywork to me, but maybe he's just getting maybe a bumper is hanging down or something, but maybe there's I didn't see any smoke. I wasn't watching, but oh yes, I'm looking now. I think they're just fixing some bodywork, to be honest. But there is, oh yeah, there is smoke coming. There's definitely smoke coming from the engine bay of that E92.
Hopefully it's just steam, Mike. We can see the lads out with a bit of a water spray, so hopefully it's...
yeah, maybe they're just cooling something down and it's the steam evaporating off, but... I don't know, does it look like steam? It looks almost more like smoke, but... Hold on. Yeah, just cool it down. You see the leaf blower out there, Richie Kelleher's tool of choice to wake you up in the morning if you're a marshal.
It's a great alarm clock, so it is.
It is a great alarm clock, especially it's petrol powered, so if the wind blow from it doesn't get you, the noise and the fumes will.
I'm sure if that doesn't work, the fumes will make sure you have an even deeper sleep.
Yeah, definitely will, yeah. Definitely will. Right.
We're going to go into the second battle of that run. It's Clark Hatton in their lead this time and Dylan Wilson in the chase position. Clark Hatton going out in the lead position here and Dylan Wilson coming up as hard as he can. Clark is going to make as much proximity as he possibly can. Initiates Dylan Wilson having a bit of a wobble there, but he's right on the door of young Clark Hatton.
Yeah, Hatton doing a nice, what a big
Huge
dive.
dive.
Hatton doing a nice initiation, but look at this from Wilson. He's right on the door, really loving his chase driving style. Look at the tyre smoke from Hatton. Huge tyre smoke from the 2 Series BMW, but Wilson is absolutely stuck. That E92 chassis. These cars would be, I think, they'd be relatively similar chassis-wise. The older, the E82, the 1 Series is actually pretty much the same as an E92 underneath, but how good do both of these cars look, guys? Fantastically prepared BMWs as we wait for the results to drop in. And they're getting out of the car, guys. Quick round of applause there for Dylan Wilson and the young Clark Hatton. Thank you very much. And just waiting for the judges once again to get the decision into us here, and we'll make it official to see who moves on to the Great 8. Two of the best looking cars on the grid, Adam.
I was just thinking that to myself here, Mike. They're two
You should
absolutely
say it.
outstanding
You should
looking
say
cars.
it as well. You're a commentator.
Oh, is that what this is for?
Yeah, yeah. You must say what's in your brain.
Oh, I thought this one is so you can hear me. Everyone else can hear me here.
Yeah, exactly. So.
Two outstanding deliveries on these cars, Mike.
Yeah. Maybe we should have a dance off to determine the winner. Rightio. So, judges watching the last part of the run here as Wilson crosses the line. And we wait for the graphic to pop up. Yeah, still in deliberation here. The judge is watching the replay here once more. Hatton with a really nice outside line. Wilson totally sacrificing, clipping zone 9 to get the proximity. Totally sacrificing it. That's the one problem maybe in his chase there. And I am hearing the judges nailing down a result and going through. It is Clark Hatton goes through to the Great 8. Dylan Wilson, just with a couple of mistakes there, might have just tilted the battle in the balance of Hatton. So we bow, or we say good luck to Dylan Wilson, who bows out.
We will see him again next round, hopefully again. So, Mike.
We will.
We're back up again in the north. A great driver and have loads of talent. So looking forward to seeing him back out on track.
Yeah. So the next battle, it's going to be a bit of a horsepower mismatch, but it's a double BMW battle. We saw Andrew Malloy taking out Peter Malloy not so long ago, but now he has a championship relative high flyer to get through, and a man who will be looking for championship glory, and this might be his round because a lot of the other guys he's up against have bought out early. It's Ericus Navidscause in the lead position.
Absolutely, Mike. If I was to say two cars on this grid that are my favourite looking, it's these two absolutely outstanding cars, one very plain, one very detailed. Ericus Navidscause is in the lead in his E46, getting a beautiful line down through for Malloy to chase with. Bit of a proximity gap there in between the two drivers. Ericus Navidscause going just a bit too deep there and dropping wheels into the gravel. Andrew Malloy shutting it down so he doesn't follow him in there. Andrew Malloy has shut it down completely there, straightening up and spinning out there with a mission. But Ericus Navidscause tries to continue his run as much as he can. Huge drive there in for the last hairpin of the track. Get across to the last zone. Andrew Malloy still at the back. Not too sure what way that one will be judged or given to the lads, Mike.
Yeah, slightly all falling apart there in that one. Not the cleanest battle we've had all day, but it is still not over. until it's over. So Malloy here now in the chase. Let's just see. I mean, but you know what? Nevitt's cause put off the 4 wheels first, and Malloy stopped. But again, Nevitt's cause was the car which committed the 10-0 first. So I would venture a guess actually that Andrew Malloy is 10-0 up in this one. As our judges show their maturity and throw sweets down at the crowd. Fantastic stuff. That's exactly who you want to be judging a drift event. The maturity.
Back to the community, Mike, so there.
Yeah, yeah, giving back to the community, exactly. The maturity levels are massive. So Ericus Nevitt's going 4 wheels off track before Malloy shut it down. So a mad battle there, that one. But Nevitt's was the first car to commit the 10-0. So I'm going to say that actually Andrew Malloy is 10-0 up in that one.
I'd say so as well, Mike. Well, this time Andrew Malloy is not just 10-0 up, he is in the lead position this time. So Eric Nevitt's will be making a huge drive to go up in the door and get some points and make it go his way. Andrew Malloy putting on a lovely line, but Eric Nevitt's is right on the door of that BMW E36, really matching the line of the lead driver. As seemingly so he is, Mike. Andrew Malloy getting a nice, lovely wide line here. There is a big difference in the power, but Andrew Malloy drops a wheel into the gravel, or not the gravel, into the grass just there. It's more of a speaking a bit of mud back up onto the track, but Eric Nevitt's is still pushing as hard as he can, trying to show why it should be him going through to the grade 8. Bit of contact there, pushing Andrew Malloy into the mud, Mike. Just a bit of a nudge there to end, be like, wait, I'm still here.
Yeah, I'm still here, buddy. I'm still here.
Eric's above his bumper, isn't it?
Yeah. Don't damage the wrap on that car. We all love that car.
Nice.
And an apology there from Ericus Nevitt's to Andrew Malloy. I'm sorry, buddy. I know you just painted this car. It's a beautiful shade of it's a candy red, I would say, is it possibly? And he said,
it's a beautiful colour though, so Mike.
I'm so sorry, he said. And just waiting to make it official and going through is Andrew Malloy. Goes through to the grade 8. Ericus doesn't have the greatest first one, puts 4 wheels off. And we move it along. And warming tyres for our next battle. It is none other than Alex Butler, and in his first twin battles, it's Francie Hines.
This should be an interesting one, Mike. Francie Hines, I keep saying it every round, he looks very comfortable in that car this year. And today especially, he's making his way through and getting things done the way they should be. But Alex Butler is such a talented young driver. He knows what to do when it comes to battles. He knows, he's well experienced. He knows how to lead, he knows how to chase.
Yeah, I think he's got a huge future in the sport, to be honest, should he choose to pursue it. I know that his dad, Keith, and family are well behind him as well. So, yeah, definitely one to watch, and one for the future. Francie Hines, in his first battles in the lovely Candy Culture era S13 Sil 80. It's turbo BMW power versus SR20. And Butler gets a lovely line into the first corner. Hines is there with him. Not a lot of angle from Hines. A little bit straight once again from Hines. Now has to find the proximity here to Butler, who's on a very good lead line. It has to be said, you have to give the advantage to Butler so far.
Absolutely, well, Francie Hines is doing everything he can to get that 180SX on the door of Alex Butler's car, but Alex is just pushing away with all the grip he has and all the power, trying to create as much proximity he can away from the chase driver. What an unbelievable run from 2 drivers, Tom. Mike.
Yeah, great run from both drivers there, and possibly just an advantage there to Butler with the proximity mixed with the lack of angle there from Hines. Enjoying himself, definitely having his first battle action. But look at the lead line here. I mean, Hines is a little bit shallow there as well. Butler's bang on the lead line. He's doing a good qualifying run here, which is what the judges want to see. Hines is not doing a bad job line-wise. Sacrificed a bit of width of the track there. Crosses the line, but I mean, Butler is on a high 80s qualifier there. 85, 90.
Totally agree with you, Mike.
Yeah, so that's what you want. Now Butler hanging back here. Look, giving himself a little bit of the whole shot. Getting a little bit of acceleration on the lead car, which he is fully allowed to do. Look, he's creeping forward. He's already moving. He's waiting. Yeah, there he goes. So look at this. He has the jump on the lead car. He has the inside line now, and he's right there. He's going to put this one to bed. Francie Hines has to pull something big out here for the lead run. Can he do it? He's gone very wide. He's gone very, very wide. Butler's stuck on the inside of the track. Can't do much about it. Has to sacrifice 4 as a result. Now gets on the door. Francie Hines looking to put this battle to bed here, Adam.
Absolutely, Mike. Francie Hines definitely took the wider approach in the first zone 1 and 2, but he looks quite well for out the rest of the track. But Alex Butler is there with him, a lot smaller proximity than we saw in the first run between the two drivers. Francie Hines pushing around, but I know Francie Hines will be delighted no matter what. He made it into the battle stages of today. Alex Butler is such a talented young driver and really showed why he is where he is.
Yeah. Good one there from both drivers, but we'll have a result in a second. And we have it now. It's Alex Butler going through to the Grade 8. Continues his charge. And you know what? He's going very, very, very well in the Junior Championship. As we wait for the engine noise to die down, he's going great in the Junior Championship. Is he about to make his way up in the Pro 2 Championship outright as well? Crazy stuff here happening at IDS this year with the young guns coming through.
Absolutely, Michael. We're moving on to a very interesting battle. It's going to be the young Jamie Hines taking on the one and only Matt Darren with that amazing beard. First off will be Jamie Hines in the lead position while Matt Darren is in the chase. Jamie Hines, who's absolutely on form today, gives a huge flick entry into zone 1 here. Not too much angle, but playing it safe, trying to get it into zone 2, but just a bit shy of it. Matt Darren is with him there the whole way. Not too close a proximity, Mike, but it looks like Matt Darren is playing it safe, wanting to get a solid chase run in here, get some points on the board.
Hines is 4 wheels off.
Oh, Mike, it does look like that, yes.
3 wheels at least, possibly 4. Is this battle over? I'm not sure. Matt Darren now finds the door. Jamie Hines now uses that turbo BMW power. Almost over rotation from Darren.
Matt Darren.
Yeah, just about saves it there. Nearly over rotation from Darren. They crossed the line. All the drama once again here at IDS Pro 2. Love it. Love this championship. But we have to see here, is Jamie Hines actually gone 4 wheels off track or not? He was wide on to 2. Darren is following. Darren doesn't have great proximity over the bottom straight, but let's see if Hines has gone off here 4 wheels. Oh, it's 3.5 wheels off if it's not 4, to be honest.
We can hear our judges over speaking here, Mike, inside the tower, taking a look, getting the stream to be rewinded so they can have a look back and see how many tires were exactly off. Really paying close attention to detail here.
It's a huge deduction, if not a 0, to be honest, for Jamie Hines. He just runs super wide between 4 and 5. The judges are just going to watch it back a little bit again and stop it there. Maybe a little bit later. Yeah, there you have it. Oh, it's if it was tennis, the umpire would be looking at that one. You'd have to get the VAR in, I'd say, Adam, the goal line technology for that one. It's very close.
I would absolutely agree with you. He's definitely on the white line, but is it off? We can't really tell.
This won't matter unless the next battle is a 0 for Matt Darren, basically. If Matt Darren spins or whatever in the next battle, that's when this is going to come into it. So we'll see. It's a huge advantage to Darren. It's 9-1 or 10-0, to be honest.
Absolutely. What we're about to see is Matt Darren takes the lead position this time. Jamie Hines, young Jamie Hines, in the chase position. Huge dive from Jamie, as Matt Darren, definitely a driver you can trust in the lead position, putting down an absolutely beautiful run. We can hear the crowd screaming on for young Jamie Hines here. Matt Darren pushing away, trying to create proximity away from the chase driver. Matt Darren catching all his own, doesn't drop any tyres, similar to how young Jamie Hines done. Matt Darren definitely putting down a safe run here and going to put some score on the board towards his way, but Jamie Hines definitely doing something to be proud of. The young 16-year-old boy pushing Matt Darren across the line here in his top 32 battle. Sorry, top 16 battle.
Great run there from Jamie Hines in the chase. Darren with the textbook lead pretty much as well, but I don't think it was enough in the end to overturn the mistake. As we wait for the official result to drop in, and we can announce going through to the Grade 8. It's Matt Darren goes through to the Grade 8. Big round of applause though for Jamie Hines. Great chase from him there. Just a mistake in the first one put him out. And that is all she wrote for young Jamie Hines until round 4.
The length of Matt Darren's beard is almost the height of Jamie Hines.
It is indeed. So Matt Deeren moves through to the top 6, or to grade 8 in fact, to face off against Alex Butler. So the grade 8, it's going to be Declan Byrne versus Colin O'Sullivan, Jake Davey versus Marcus Heinen, Clark Hatton versus Andrew Malloy, and Alex Butler versus Matt Deeren.
This is going to be a wild grade 8, so it is.
Big smell of oil there actually out of one of the cars.
I'd say
Lots.
so. A bit of burning, I'd say.
Yeah, a bit of burning oil there. So
we're going to
yeah.
go into the next battle, which, as you said, is Declan Byrne and Colin O'Sullivan. Two drivers driving absolutely great. Two drivers I definitely favour. And Declan Byrne in the lead position this time, trying to get as much speed away so he can get away from the young Colin O'Sullivan. Colin O'Sullivan is determined. He's making a huge drive up on Declan Byrne's door. Just going a bit wide, not following the exact line of the lead driver, creating a lot of proximity between them, Mike.
Yeah, big gap opening up here. Oh, Byrne has gone way too fast, goes off track. I was just going to say a big gap opens up, but Byrne, due to that speed, due to that big gap, too much speed to scrub off into the first hairpin and absolutely chose the advantage that he had away. Colin O'Sullivan continues his run, victorious, safe in the knowledge. He knows that he's on a 10-0. He knows that he's going to get a big advantage here, and he knows that he has to finish his leaving cert on Monday or whenever.
Excuse the pun, Mike, but that really threw a pebble in the gears. I really don't know what to say there. I thought it was all going to face towards towards Declan Byrne, but after that it's definitely a 10-0 towards the young Colin O'Sullivan from Kerry. Maybe it's a birthday present towards him to give him 10-0, but we don't know, Mike. They got to go one more time, swapping it around the lead in the chase position, and it could just happen again, so it's not over. That doesn't mean it's over yet.
I'm going to give Declan Byrne back some points for having the awareness to keep that car just labouring out of the gravel and not wheel spinning it and digging a hole for himself. So a couple of points back for me for Declan Byrne in order, or because he kept that car going and not bogging itself down and needing recovery. So good job there, Declan. Both cars doing a cool down lap here. Obviously these cars came out of the factory with either non-turbo SR20DEs or turbo SR20 DETs, 4-cylinder engines, but of course, as you do, you decide to put in a big 6-cylinder up the front from a Supra or from a Skyline or whatever. Put a much bigger turbo on it than what it came with, and get it to make way more power, and then take it out in the sunshine and drive the absolute life out of it.
Well, they didn't take it too much out of the sunshine, Mike, because there's plenty of sunshine here today, and one thing they did change about these cars, they were definitely meant to be driven in straight lines, but they're not anymore, they're going sideways.
Yeah, and of course, again, when they are sideways, not a lot of airflow getting in through the radiators, as we almost had a collision there as they get up to the line.
This is going to be a very interesting one, Mike. Young Colin O'Sullivan, a very content young man, but he is wild in the driving. He's a hard charger. He knows how to drive that car, and he's out there to have fun, have a bit of crack. It is his birthday weekend again. He's just finished a leaving cert. He's out having a bit of crack. No matter what happens, he's having a good weekend. But Declan Byrne, a really, really, really good driver. A driver I've seen that is so dedicated to the sport, puts a lot of time into his social media work to create a community around his team, and shout out everyone that helps him and makes him who he is and so on. And you can see the team that are here with him today cheering him on. So
yeah, lots of fans for both drivers.
Both going to really want to hear as well, though. So
yeah, lots of fans for both drivers. You get the hardcores here on the Saturday, that's for sure. As we leave the line, it is Colin O'Sullivan's to lose. Can he book himself a place in the Final Four? Dream weekend for the Kerry man. Flicks it in left. Declan Byrne with the wider line as the chase driver, unusually flicks it to the right. A lovely line here from Byrne. All he can do here is force Sully into mistake by putting him off, showing him the front bumper. That's exactly what he's doing. He's trying to get into the head of the Kerry man here by showing him the front of his own Sylvia. But the Kerry man is keeping his head, he's keeping his concentration, kicks the clutch.
Look how close the two drivers are there.
Yeah, Byrne is doing everything he can here, but it's not going to be enough. I think it's going to be Colin O'Sullivan to take this one, guys.
Mike, isn't that just what you love to see? Aggression and passion. Two drivers really giving everything they can out on track.
Absolutely everything. Lots of money, lots of time, lots of effort goes into this sport and these cars, but you know what, it's all worth it. And going through to the Final Four, it's Colin O'Sullivan!
A big round of applause are due for both these drivers, two very, very good drivers. Declan Byrne will definitely be disappointed to be knocked out there, but he is nothing to be nothing to be ashamed of, because he gave it everything in his chase run, absolutely everything, putting out one of the best chase runs I've seen all day.
What you want during a Leaving Cert weekend is to make it into the Final Four, therefore buying yourself a place in pro competition, therefore you're driving tomorrow again. And you know what? The old exams, sure, they'll be great.
Exactly. Why do you need points in the Leaving Cert when you can have points in the Irish Drift Series Championship table?
Yeah, whoa, huge backfire there. If you're watching from abroad, guys, and you keep hearing us referencing the Leaving Cert, it's basically our leaving of secondary school or leaving high school exams. And I'll just wait till Declan is gone. As Declan Byrne kills the last of his tyres. So yeah, basically the Leaving Cert is your leaving of school exam, and is considered quite important over here. But Colin O'Sullivan has other things to be at, to be honest. So that's the priorities of life. And we move it along. Speaking of priorities, it's Jake Davey who's looking to lead this championship against Marcus Heinen, who's also looking to make his way up this championship. Two very young guns here. Two Sylvias, two top drivers. Let's see what they can do. Jake Davey leads us in. Closely followed here by Marcus Heinen with the 2J.
Jake Davey, the young, if not, he is the youngest driver on our championship at the moment. And Marcus Heinen going up against his brother there earlier on in the table today. He knows what he's coming up against. He knows his family is a very talented group, and they give it everything out on track. Their cars are dialed in, and so are the drivers. They want to get the car exactly where it needs to be.
Yeah, lovely run there from both drivers. Nice consistency. No real mistakes as such to speak about, so they'll be delighted with that one, respectively. Maybe not great proximity from Heinen there, and a very good lead from Davey. So you have to say maybe slight advantage to the Carrick karting driver. Just looking at Marcus's position here on track on the replay, definitely not bad at all. He does find the proximity at the end, definitely, but over the course of the lap, I think slight advantage to Davey, I would say, in that one, slight. As we swap them over now, still all to play for Marcus Heinen though, with the 2J power, might have the legs here, but it doesn't always work like that, that's for sure here in IDS, as both drivers line up under the Red Bull start line. Of course, once again, IDS brought to you by our title sponsors, Lucky Day Competitions, with the best competitions on the planet at this stage, I think, and Red Bull. Keep an eye out for that amazing event, the Red Bull Drift Pursuit in Spike Island in a few weeks. As Marcus Heinen crosses the track leading us in, but Davey is not put off by it. He gets right on the door of the S13 of Heinen. Look at this, the Village Tyres S13 is under a little bit of pressure here. These cars bought on road tyres, of course, as per the rules. Heinen loses out there on zone 5 there as well, Adam.
Absolutely, Mike. Huge aggression from young Davey here. Marcus Heinen in the lead position, but on an unbelievable run. But Jake Davey is there with him the whole way, hasn't separated away from the door of that S13 and pushing it across the line. What a run, Mike.
Yeah, great run from both drivers. Real consistency, showing their quality here in the Great 8, trying to book their place in the top 4. And guys, let's hear a round of applause from Marcus Heinen and Jake Davey.
As you can see, Jake Davey limp over there because he is in a boot. Don't forget that. The young fella only injured himself there recently enough in GA, and it's not holding him back today, though, is it?
No, it's probably keeping his foot on the throttle that bit heavier. Is it his right foot or left foot? His right foot, the throttle foot. I thought his foot looked a bit heavier today on the throttle. So the judges just confirming this one. Once again, two young guns, two rising stars in Irish drifting. And we are waiting for the graphics to pop up and the scores to drop in, as we have gone back to the start line on the cameras for some reason. We can announce, it didn't come up on the screen there, we can announce going through to the Final Four. It is Jake Davey goes through to the Final Four. Marcus Heinen with a valiant effort there in the Village Tyres S13. Give a shout to Marcus and the guys there in Ballincollig if you need your tyres or anything done like that. They are good guys. But Jake Davey in the Carrick karting car will be joining his dad Nicky tomorrow for pro competition, because he has booked his place in the semi-finals here and the final 4. So fantastic weekend so far here for the Davies already. And we have to go to the right-hand side of the bracket now, and the man who is getting more and more used to his car, his new chassis, it's Clark Hatton versus Andrew Malloy in the newly done up, I will say, beautiful E36 there, and a definite massive gap of horsepower here, Adam.
Absolutely, Mike. Two completely different cars, but two very, very skilled drivers, and two being absolutely on form all day. We'll be kicking off with the lower powered car. It'll be Andrew Malloy in the lead position in his E36, followed by the young Clark Hatton on the chase position. Two aggressive drivers, and here we go. The E36 initiates a big flick into initiation 1, perfectly on the line. Is he going to get into zone 2? He does, Mike. He's doing absolutely perfectly, but Clark Hatton is there with him the whole way.
Yeah, Malloy there very right across the initiation point, very far right as well, so judges will be looking at that, but didn't seem to put Hatton off too much.
Absolutely, Clark Hatton is putting a big dive here up onto the door to close that proximity as much as he can, and you can see that here, huge angle from Clark Hatton, but Andrew Malloy is putting on quite a safe run, Mike, in my opinion.
Yeah, two beautiful BMWs here on the track, very different ways of doing things. The old school E36, beautiful finish on that car in the candy red, and then a complete another competition car that wouldn't look out of place in GT racing, the M2 of Clark Hatton with the big GT wing and the mad wheel offset. Look at the positive camber on the back of that car and the positive toe. It's just set up to go fast in while going sideways. All the fast cars look like that. They look like the rear wheels are cocking outwards and inwards. That towed in positive camber geometry, because when the car squats, camber settles, and you generally get all of your tire on the track, which is ideal.
Maybe they learned all this in their leaving cert.
Maybe
science
it's probably in the leaving cert.
Probably is, yeah. Drifting, it's obviously part of the leaving cert.
Yeah, exactly.
Either way, they're back out in the grid line. This time Clark is in the lead position and Andrew Malloy in the chase position. Andrew jumping the line just a small bit there to try to get a bit of a head up on Clark there with the more power. Clark Hatton taking a huge drive. Andrew Malloy right onto the door of young Clark Hatton, not holding back, so he isn't, despite all the power differences. Does look like he loses just a small bit there, but he's still with him. He's really being aggressive here, Mike.
Hatton has 2 wheels off there, Adam. Hatton put 2 wheels off, and it puts and it puts Malloy off. Hatton has a massive issue. I'd say he was at a big advantage at that stage, but he seems to have thrown it all away now. Hatton with the big mistake. Malloy gets back into it. I'm not sure, Adam. It's going to come down. It's gone very scrappy across the second half of that run. It's going to come down to that situation. Hatton dropped 2 wheels off. Did he shut it down? Right, Malloy's right there with him. Takes that inside line to maintain proximity. Okay, he's right there with him. He's right with Hatton. Hatton comes down off the bank. Malloy's on the inside of the track. Malloy's very straight. Malloy makes a dive, but Hatton runs very wide of his own accord. He's 2 good wheels off, and Hatton shuts it down there.
Mike, does it almost look like that Clark's car shut off him?
Yeah.
I saw it there at the line when they were turning around to go back for their second run of this battle. It looked like his car shut him down. Maybe that's a mechanical issue they're having.
Yeah, I mean, it's so easy to have an intermittent mechanical issue like a wiring fault or something that will show itself the odd time, and as a result going through to the final 4 and thus booking his place in tomorrow's competition. It's Andrew Malloy goes through to the final 4. What a run he's having in a car he will admit himself has no business being at this stage of competition, horsepower wise at least. But what a consistent driver, and a gentleman as well, behind the wheel and outside of the car, and very well deserved from his driving, been very consistent. But Clark Hatton maybe with a little issue, as you said there, Adam. And sometimes you can have these new builds, especially, you can have sometimes a fuel surge issue around a right hand corner or left hand corner. You can have an intermittent wiring issue, because as the G-forces push the wiring loom one direction or other, it can just cause, if there's a slight fray or an earth or something messy, it can just cause that issue to raise its head. So maybe we're seeing that from Clark. I don't know, it's just speculation, but it would explain a lot. Now, our last battle of the Great 8 is the one and only Alex Butler. Who's going to stop him? It might be this man. It's Matt Darren to take on Alex Butler. It's once again, it's all BMW power. It's turbo BMW power. It's V8 versus straight 6. And let's see, is it experience? Is it youth is going to win this one? Adam, What's going to happen?
I'm not too sure, Mike. It's the best beard in drifting coming up against one of the most fastest upcoming drivers. We can see huge transitions, huge dives here from Darren. Look at Darren right on the door of Alex Butler. Alex Butler putting out a solid lead run here, but Darren is not holding off. Darren is going for the win today. He is there with Alex Butler. He knows he can do it. Alex is a great driver, putting out a solid lead line, and Matt Darren is putting a huge dive on the door there, getting a bit of contact across the line. He's taking
2046. Okay, Tom Murphy very entertained by that. And as they cross the line, still very close to his younger sibling, I'll say this time, in order that our very mature judges don't get such a kick out of what I just said.
One car to another, Mike. One car to another.
Well, this is it. But yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so I don't know. I think Matt Darren is at a big advantage there, Adam. It's not a huge one again. If the lead driver puts in that brilliant lead run, I don't think the chase driver can get a massive advantage, because obviously you've left the door open all over the track for them. But I would say Matt Darren has to be in an advantage here, but it's still all to play for here, guys. The second run, our last run of the Great 8, as Matt Darren now leads us in. Alex Butler to give chase. He has to do something here in order to catch the bearded man in the E36, but he doesn't have the proximity, Adam. He doesn't have the same proximity that Darren had to him. He has to do something right now.
Absolutely, Mike. Looks like Matt Darren has a small bit of a correction there in hour zone 5, but he's making it work. Alex Bullard's getting lost in the smoke there, but the proximity is not what we saw in the first run when Matt was in the chase position. Definitely a very good run we're seeing here. Huge dive on the door from Alex Bullard up on Matt Darren. What a run we have just witnessed here in Watergrasshill. Make some noise and clap your hands for two outstanding drivers.
Wow. So was it experience? Was it youth? Was take that one, guys? And we can announce going through to the final 4. Guys, big round of applause. It's the one and only, it's the best beard in motorsport. It's Matt Darren!
He looks absolutely delighted himself, jumping around the track there as Alex Butler's car tries to walk away by itself. But Matt Darren looks absolutely delighted.
And thankfully that's the end of our younger sister jokes. And we move it along to our semi-finals, and Matt Darren will have to go back. He's delighted. He'll have to go back, get that car refueled, get some fresh rubber on the back, and he will be ready to rock for his battle against Andrew Malloy. And interestingly, on the left-hand side of the bracket, we have all Nissans left. On the right-hand side of the bracket, we have all BMWs left.
This seems to be a common thing we're starting to see lately, Mike.
It is, especially in Watergrasshill. It's the age-old Pro2 battle, the BMW versus the Nissan. And you know, Andrew Malloy is the only guy here with the naturally aspirated straight-six Beamer engine left, and he has been pedaling that thing so hard in order to keep it in the competition, and he's very deservedly now after booking his place in the competition tomorrow. Pros. No, I'm not sure if that car would have the legs to run the semi-slicks. That'd be a big ask, but you know what? We've seen stranger things happen in the past, and
we've seen stranger things, Mike. Or he could actually end up borrowing someone else's car, because that is something he's allowed to do in these changes.
We might wet the track for him.
Maybe.
We could wet the track. No, I know Andrew Malloy. He'd want to drive his own car, I think. Maybe, but I think he'll want to drive his own car. He's quite proud of that build and quite proud of the fact that they've built essentially underdog cars and they're doing the business with them. So I think he'll be delighted showcasing that car tomorrow. So that leaves us with 4. It is Colin O'Sullivan to face off against Jake Davey. The battle of absolute youth and 2 Sylvias. And it is Andrew Malloy on the right-hand side of the bracket versus Matt Darren, who we just saw. You know what? If Matt Darren keeps driving like that, and that's the best we've seen Matt all day, by far. That was unbelievable, to be honest. He was good all day, obviously, to make it this far, but he pulled another gear there, essentially.
He could see the trophy. He could see first place. It's in sight for him now. He was in the Grade 8. He made it this far. He could see that number 1 position on that podium, and he wants it. He's not holding back, Mike.
Yeah, he's not holding back. Well, why would he at this stage? He wants the podium. And you do, once again, get the honour of competing tomorrow in the big show with the pro drivers here at IDS Round 3 here in Watergrasshill for the crown of King of the Hill and for that all-important championship points and that all-important possible trophy. And who's going to say that Matt Darren doesn't have it in him tomorrow to get there, because you know what, that car has the power for the bigger tyres tomorrow, for the grippier tyres tomorrow, and it has sometimes those grippier tyres will actually suit a driver better, Adam. Sometimes, you know, if a driver is quite aggressive, the road tyres don't suit his style quite as much. Owen Magner being quite a good example of this. If a driver is very aggressive, sometimes the road tyres don't have the side bite to control their sheer and utter aggression and their driving style, so they have to drive the car maybe a little bit more tentatively than what they'd want to. But you put them in the pro car with the sticky tyres, they can absolutely fire it into the corner. The sheer grip of the rear tyre will dig in, it'll stop the car spinning for them. They can drive a little bit more naturally. They can drive a little bit more on their heart rather than their head, if that makes sense. And you see some drivers actually coming alive and becoming much better drivers in the pro class because they're on a tyre that suits their driving style better.
Absolutely, Mike. Well, they'll have no choice either way if they are going to be driving as outstanding as they are here today, since we've seen the last few battles getting towards our final of today. These drivers throughout the year, if they continue that, they'll be making their way into the Pro 1 category for next year. They'll be levelling up, so they will have to build their cars, and they will have to get used to all these semi-slick tyres and learning how to steer on those. As you're saying, there's a lot of change in grip.
Absolutely, absolutely. So guys, we are just getting the cars ready to rock for the semi-finals here at IDS round 3 in Watergrasshill, and just as they get a couple of tyres and ready and refueled, we will let you go to a break, and we will be back with you for semi-final action in 4 or 5 minutes time.
This is how we do.
The lads in the pits working double time there to get new wheels on the rears of these cars and some fuel in the tanks and back out. And we are ready to rock at them for our semi-finals. We'll get the crowd involved at this stage, get you guys cheering just before the battles. And we are in for a treat here. Once again, it's youth and Nissans on the left, and slightly older, but still young men in the big scheme of things on the right-hand side in the form of Andrew Malloy and the crazy Matt Derrin. So Colin O'Sullivan currently doing the leaving cert against Jake Davey, who is our youngest driver on the grid, still competing in the junior championship. So 15, 16 years of age, Jake is.
Absolutely.
And we'll be joining his dad Nicky on the pro grid tomorrow as a result of today's escapades, I would say.
Just doing how the Davies do, Mike.
Just doing what the Davies do, exactly. And it is going to be a crazy battle here, guys. And I know you think we're saying that because of commentary, speak or whatever, but I genuinely believe it is, because if I know Colin O'Sullivan, the red mist is going to be absolutely making him completely blinded by determination inside the car at this stage. Then Jake Davey, he's the opposite. He's cool, calm and collected. He's measured. And this is going to be one ethos versus the other. It's going to be sheer aggression versus sheer calculated driving. As young as Davey is, he is a calculated driver. So this is going to be very, very interesting.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you. For all these drivers now, the podium is only in reaching distance for them, so they have to give it everything and fight for that spot. So we're about to kick off straight away. Young Jake Davey in the lead position, followed by young Colin O'Sullivan, the young Kerry man. Jake Davey making a huge flicker, early flick into initiate for zone 1, and Colin O'Sullivan trying to stay there with him, trying to get up right on the door of that karting Sylvia.
Yeah, you know what? Davey seems to have the pace here, the little SR that could. He's bang on that outside line. Doesn't quite drop a wheel, just about keeps it on track. Colin O'Sullivan needs to find some grip here, needs to find the door. Colin O'Sullivan, over-rotates. Colin O'Sullivan over-rotates in the search of Davey's door. And as we said, that red mist definitely descending there on the Kerryman, and maybe just a little bit too much red mist there, looking for the door. Knew that he was back a bit there, Adam, and maybe pushed a little bit too hard.
Absolutely, Mike. I think you described it absolutely perfectly before the lads took on the battle. Young Davey is a very cool, calm, and collected young driver. He's very dialed in. He knows what he has to do with that car. He's gone around here all day, putting out outstanding runs from qualifying practice all the way through his battles to where he is now. Colin Sullivan, he missed practice yesterday, so he didn't get as much time out on the track. He was doing his leaving cert, and he came all the way up from Kerry.
Yeah, that's a great point, Adam, actually. He's got this far and he missed practice.
Exactly, so he's something completely massively to be proud of this weekend. You can see Conor Sullivan's back on the line there while young Davey is doing just a bit of a cool down lap, I'd imagine, to make sure his car is cool and safe.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got 20 minutes to get this finished, guys. It is 20 to 6. Strict enough curfew here in Watergrasshill for 6 o'clock, so we've got 20 minutes to get cars wrapped up and off track by 6 o'clock. And nobody wants to do the final in the morning, to be honest. That also means I have to be here earlier, so I don't want to. So, yeah, definitely wanting to get the final done and have our podium. We have 20 minutes, and I would say we'll be good to go, because this is our first of 2 semi-finals. We'll have the third, fourth place playoff, and we will have the final. So basically 4 battles, and we are done with Pro 2 round 3. And what a great Pro 2 it's been! What a great round 3 it's been so far, and always with the drama and the incidents, Pro 2, but it's shaping up to make Pro tomorrow, which is looking like a dry day all day. It's shaping up to make that absolutely fantastic, to be honest.
Absolutely, Mike. I remember talking to you at the beginning of the year, before the season started, about all this before I came into commentary, and you were telling me about how the stories are so strong in the Pro 2 category, if not just stronger than the Pro 1, because all these drivers really want to make it. This is the betting for them. This is the betting for the future stars of Irish drifting. So this is where it begins for them. It's not just lads coming out, they've already completed it back in the years ago, and they're just come back for a bit of crack. These are a group of lads, young lads,
Yeah,
it's in your age group, but they're out there determined, trying to make their way into the Pro 1 category.
Yeah, and the magic is there. So it's still all new to them. The magic is very much there. Of course, it is in the Pro class as well, but the costs do go up in Pro, and you know, the rewards are huge, obviously, in the Pro class. But this Pro 2 class, including the rookie and the juniors, it's just got such a great feel-good factor and such a fantastic set of competitors and crews. So now we are ready to rock, guys, with the second half of our semi-final battle. Colin O'Sullivan is, you know, Adam, he's just got to do what he's got to do here. Hope for a mistake from Davey.
Huge flick from young Colin O'Sullivan there, though.
Yeah, maybe piling on the angle there, hoping maybe to just unsettle Davey a little bit or something, but didn't work with Davey. He's very much calculated, staying back. Oh, but Davey shuts it down.
No
Davey
way,
shuts
Mike.
it down. No way.
I can't believe what I have just witnessed. This is going to mean another 10-0.
It's going to mean another 10-0, and it's going to mean, I would say by my calculations, it could mean it one more time. So we'll just see what happens with Davey there. Now we might have a situation where Davey can't continue if the car is too badly damaged. He's looking under the rear of it. That could be an exploded diff.
Mike, I'm gobsmacked.
Yeah, but we have to see if the first one was a 0 or not. I would believe so, but we have to look back on it. Judges are asking for a replay of the first run, and I'm hearing, yeah, it was indeed a broken shaft there for Davies. So
correct.
These Nissans on the standard back ends are a Skyline GTR back end. The GTR back end definitely stronger, but not very much not unbreakable. So this car still SR20 power, wouldn't have the hugest amount of torque in the world, but still enough to break a shaft when you start dialing this amount of grip through it. So it is after breaking a shaft, and that is changeable, I would say, in the amount of time that they would have for a 5-minute rule. If they had about everything ready and they knew what they were doing, they might get it changed. It would be really good going, but I've seen it done in the past.
Absolutely, Mike. If it is going to be the case for one more time, he will have the opportunity to call a 5-minute rule, because he does get another 5-minute rule if he has previously used it in the top 32 or the top 16. Once you get into the top 4, you have the opportunity for another 5-minute rule.
Yeah, great point, Adam. Yeah, great point. So judges and track controller speaking here. We are under time constraints, of course. So we can announce, guys, that it is indeed a 0-0 situation, and it will be a one more time. So if Jake Davey can't get this car repaired within his allotted time frame, which will be a 5-minute rule, we will see a rerun of this battle. If he doesn't get it repaired within the 5-minute rule, the timer will start as soon as his pit crew put hands on the car in the pits. If he doesn't get out of his pit box repaired, then it will, of course, go to Colin O'Sullivan, because Davey could not make the line, and it will go to the car which could make the line, which will be Colin O'Sullivan.
Absolutely, Mike, and as much as Colin O'Sullivan is determined to take that top spot here today, I'm 100% sure that I'd say that young Kerry man would rather see Jake Davey out there on track with him and fighting it out for that position on the podium. He doesn't want to be handed. He's a very good young sportsman, so I'm sure he'd rather it be the fairway and not leave it down to mechanical issues causing a win towards him.
100%, but you know what? It's never over till it's over there. Colin O'Sullivan was pretty much dead and buried after the first run, and lo and behold, then the mechanical gods came to his aid there, and Jake Davies' car not able to complete the run. 10-0 the other direction. He's back with a good fighting chance, and the Davies and all the pit crew are going to be double timing on the axle stands and the trolley jacks for this one.
Absolutely, Mike. The Davies will be doing it. Well, anyways, we're going to go on to our next battle. It's Andrew Malloy, if I'm correct saying, and Matt Derrin for our second battle of the top 4.
Yeah, you are indeed. You could just look at our sheet there, Adam, and it tells you exactly that if you want.
I would, but some little child has seemed to scribble all over it. Or is that your handwriting? Either way, we're going to go straight into it with Andrew Malloy in the lead position, followed by Matt Derrin, the hard charger of today, I would say so. Matt Derrin trying to come up on the door of Andrew Malloy in that BMW. Quite a lot of proximity here, Mike. I did not expect that.
Yeah, watch this from Matt Derrin. Matt Derrin is coming charging in like a bull in a China shop, but he does get the E36 stopped. It's all E36s on track. Massive horsepower gap, twice the horsepower in Matt Derrin's car easily, but Andrew Malloy is using all of his 200 and something horsepower here in order to keep himself bang on line there, and Matt Derrin is right with him as they cross the line.
What an insane run, Mike. I know I keep saying that, but I really truly mean that. How did Andrew Malloy get that car so gripped up to pull away from Matt Derrin's VA's BMW? They're going to head back to the grid line now and swap things around as they get ready for their second run of this battle. This time Matt Derrin will be in the lead position with Andrew Malloy in the chase. Matt Derrin have a lot more power than Andrew Malloy. Could that help him out here, Mike?
Yes. Yes is the answer, because I think the sheer pace in the lead position will tell here, to be honest. Now, I don't think Matt Derrin is at an advantage here, to be honest. Malloy had a good run. Unusual to see Malloy needing a cool down lap here, because you know, the non-turbo engines don't seem to build as much power. But if we watch the replay here, Malloy is bang on line there. Like, Derrin is not showing a lot of angle, and he's not right on the door from Malloy. No, he makes a big dive there around zone 4, really good dive, but he has a bit of a straighten as a result. Slight correction, nothing major, but overall I think Malloy is looking like the man with a slight advantage, if anything, on this one, Adam. Now Derrin is really going to have to find the grip. He's going to have to hit the throttle so early after the corner, just after the start line. He's going to have to use the straight in order to gain an advantage here, and that's not how we want to see battles. But if you're in a competition and you want to get to the final, that's what you're doing. You're looking for every advantage that you can. You're not going to wait for the slower car to initiate with you. So Matt Derrin is going to have to find the grip, find the power, get all that torque with the turbo V8 down to the ground, and make that advantage show for him here.
Absolutely, Mike. As you said, at the end of the day, this is a sport. Either way, we're going to go straight into this battle. 2 cars on the line. Matt Derrin in the lead position. Andrew Malloy in the chase for our second run of the top 4 here in round 3 of the Irish Drift Series 2025. Matt Derrin taking a huge dive in. Andrew Malloy following him, trying to close that proximity as much as he can. Matt Derrin doing a lovely lead line, Mike, from what I can see. I can imagine a big flick here in the decel zone. Yes, lots of angle for Matt Derrin, but Andrew Malloy is with him. He's not holding back. Matt Derrin creating loads of smoke. Is Andrew Malloy going to get lost in it? No, but the proximity does open up. Matt Derrin dropping tyres there as they come up the hill here.
Yeah, Malloy goes shallow, but Derrin drops a wheel. It's as you were now, and Malloy almost pushes Derrin across the line. Wow.
Did Andrew Malloy add a turbo to that car throughout today, or something we don't know about?
Yeah, maybe You might have a eBay supercharger kit there, a cigarette lighter supercharger kit. Guys, round of applause for Andrew Malloy and Matt Darren putting on a show here in their E36s. Two fantastic cars, two fantastic drivers, and a fantastic day's drifting here in Pro 2 IDS.
And one fantastic beard, Mike.
Fantastic beards. And are we going to see it? We're going to see it, guys. Matt Darren, he's taking off the helmet. He's taking off the helmet. Are we? Oh! The beard! The best part of the day. I'm happy with that, to be honest. We could nearly finish it up
I
now.
should call it there, lads.
Call it there.
Yeah, perfect.
Brilliant stuff. Very sexy from Matt Darren there as well. Keep it PG, Matt. So going through to the final. It's Andrew Malloy goes through to the final. Matt Darren will be back out for the third, fourth place playoff for that final podium place. Andrew Malloy, the giant killer, the man lacking horsepower compared to every other car on the grid except a couple in this top 32, has taken down everybody in front of him. And you know what? Who's going to say he's not going to go all the way?
Absolutely, Mike. Matt Darren putting out some outstanding runs, especially chase runs today, being a real hard charger. But Andrew Malloy really learned how to drive that car today. He's really comfortable in it from what we can see, and he's making it work for him. We can hear our judges here discussing beside us over a few things and make sure they made the right decisions, which I'm sure they have. So we're meant to be finishing in 10 minutes, Mike. I'm not too sure what way it's going to go, so we're just waiting to find out. Once again, we'll give a huge shout out to our two title sponsors, Lucky Day Competitions, who are always giving away the best of prizes. You can head over and find them on all social media platforms, along with Red Bull Energy, who you can see at our start line, having that bit of a tower over. It looks absolutely outstanding, perfect for all the media team to take some beautiful photos in.
Yeah, so we're just overhearing conversations here, trying to bring you guys info. So basically, Colin O'Sullivan went in to change tyres. Also, Jake Davey obviously has to change a half shaft. Colin O'Sullivan, because he is changing tyres, is not yet at the line, but he's being ushered to the line by the marshals. You will actually see in competition sometimes, time allowing, one driver kind of sandbagging coming back out in order to give his competitor time to fix their car, which is crazy stuff, but that's exactly what does actually happen in drifting. The marshals are, because we're under time constraints, it's very late. Colin O'Sullivan is being ushered to the line, and as soon as Colin O'Sullivan gets to the line, Jake Davies' 5-minute rule starts. So Jake Davies' 5-minute rule has not actually technically yet started, and as soon as Colin O'Sullivan gets to the line, which he is being told to do, just because of time constraints, Jake Davies' 5-minute rule starts. So that's basically the situation. So we could be in a situation here that Jake Davies has another 6-7 minutes in order to get his half shaft changed. So we might actually get to see that semi-final.
Hopefully we do, Mike. Hopefully we do, because the run today being absolutely outstanding, and I don't want it to end just yet, especially not this early. Sure, you know, it's still early. But you really highlighted the sportsmanship within drifting and the drifting community there. People really do try have each other's back. No matter what, if you are going for that podium spot, like everything kind of relies on this. Whoever wins the next battle between these two gets a chance to go for a third position or a first or second position, you know? And you can see, as you said, Colin O'Sullivan is trying to help out his opponent in this situation, trying to give him that bit of extra time so he can have that fairer battle and not just be handed over to him.
Yep, exactly, Adam. It's going to be a tight one, I would say, for the Davies. It takes a little bit of time to, you know, once again, it can be easier depending on the car. Certain cars or certain chassis, or depending on what rear end they have, if they have a quick change or whatever, it can take a little bit less time sometimes to get it changed. And obviously you're doing this on the ground, and it has to be observed that the axle stands are safe, and it's safe for human beings to go in under a car which is essentially jacked up in the air, and that the trolley jacks are safe, axle stands are in place safely, that they're not leaning over or anything. You don't want a car falling on anybody in the pit, so all that has to be observed by the marshals as well. And it's going to be a tight one for the Davies. Not sure if they even have spare shafts. I would imagine that they do, and if they don't, there will definitely be another Sylvia in the paddock with those shafts, I would say.
There's not just Sylvia in the paddock, Mike. There's a Sylvia making his way out to track. We can see the young Colin O'Sullivan getting ready to set up on the grid line.
Yeah, so Colin O'Sullivan has been told to get to the line. He is there now, and therefore Jake Davies' 5-minute rule starts as of now. So we'll try to get you live updates from the pits according as we get them. And yeah, what a great day's drifting it's been, Adam. You know, the weather plays a huge part in this, as we've seen at Bishop's Court. It made it so tough. The cameras nearly blew away. A lot of the electrical equipment got wet. It was crazy stuff. It made it very hard. Then you go to the next round here in Watergrasshill in Cork, and it's just so pleasurable. It's so good. Excuse me. And it's been such a nice, pleasurable day's drifting, full of incidents, full of the fans. You can hear all the crews of the drivers here fanatically supporting. You know, it's moved into. There's a lot of families here. It's changed. Like when I started driving, it was all just fellas going, you know, hatchet, and young fellas at the track on their own with their buddies or whatever, and just going out that night or whatever. And now it's a lot of families. It's a lot of bigger crews kind of joining, and the support from the families of the drivers is fantastic to see in here.
Absolutely, Mike. There's definitely a huge community around drifting. I've seen over the last couple of years they've gone into between families, friends, and just supporters, because you know that's become the thing. Either way, while we're waiting for our drivers to get back onto the grid line, we are just going to head over to a quick ad from our sponsors. So we'll be back with you in just a short couple of minutes. We'll see you then.
Okay, guys, so just keeping you informed here. Jake Davies' clock is running down fast, and we will know in a matter of seconds, I would say, whether he can make it back out for the rerun of the semi-final on the left-hand side of the bracket between Colin O'Sullivan and Jake Davey himself.
Absolutely, Mike. As we wait for them, we may as well check the live stream comments, see what everyone's up to.
Absolutely.
So if there's any shout outs or anything you want to say to us on the live stream, make sure to drop it in there now as we're trying to update our apps and see the comments coming in live.
Well, I love the last one there from Vision. His beard makes up for all the young ones that can't grow them yet. Fantastic. More Matt Darren beard love there.
I'm glad we're not the only ones. I just found out there from our track marshal, Sean Towney, that we'll be leaving. Colin O'Sullivan initiates to basically qualify himself that it was a solid run and that...
Yep. So that's Colin O'Sullivan after showing that he can initiate. Basically, that is Colin O'Sullivan booking his place in the final.
Absolutely. Absolutely outstanding for a young fella. On his birthday weekend, just finished the leaving cert.
Probably the middle of, is he finished the leaving cert? Is he in the middle of it? I'm not sure.
I'm not too sure. It's been a few years since I've done mine. Like.
Same. A lot more since I've done it than you. So Colin O'Sullivan books his place in the final against Andrew Malloy, guys. Big round of applause for Colin O'Sullivan on his birthday weekend. And that means that Jake Davey now has to make it out for the top or the third, fourth place playoff. But Matt Darren is on the line essentially. He's waiting there just before the burnout box. So Jake Davey, by default, I would say, has used his 5-minute rule now. Therefore, doesn't have another 5-minute rule and cannot make it out for the third, fourth place playoff. So unfortunately for Jake Davey, mechanical issues put him out of both the semi-final and the third, fourth place playoff battle. So that means, guys, that we are ready to rock almost for our final. Just going to show that Matt Darren can initiate in order to claim his third place by default. So once Matt Darren can leave the line under his own power and get into the first corner, he then claims third position. We usually don't give the results till the podium, but I think in this case, Adam, it's fairly obvious, to be honest.
Absolutely, Mike. With the type of conditions we're under here, I think it's the fairest way to go about it, unfortunately, for young Jake Davey. But he'll be back out again around for the next round, and I'm sure he'll be a hard charger for that podium spot that he unfortunately missed out on this weekend. He was looking great all weekend, from practice to qualifying, everything was going perfect for him just until the last moment. So it's very unfortunate. We're hoping the best for him and all his team. Either way, we'll see his fall. Actually, he has the opportunity to be out again tomorrow, so he could do that as well.
He could.
About that, yeah. Either way, we're going to leave Matt Darren initiate here. I wonder will he do it, Mike? Is he able? Do you think he is?
Sure, there's no fear, Matt Darren.
No, now will he be able to initiate though?
No fear, Matt Darren. I'd say he's done it once or twice at this stage as the E36 of Matt Darren leaves the line. Shows he can initiate. Does so very nicely. Backwards entry. Beautiful style. Look at that. It gets the clipping point as well. 100 points so far from Matt Darren. No pressure on. Big angle there, almost backwards. And Matt Darren doesn't have to spare his tyres for the final. Will be looking for semi-slick tyres tomorrow, so he might as well kill what's left of his road tyres for the Pro 2 competition. And guys, by default, taking third spot on the podium. Let's hear a big round of applause from Matt Darren.
Crossing the line with a 360, Mike. Absolute show he just put on for us here.
Yeah, great stuff there by Matt Darren. A great man in the pits. Great to see him getting a reward and getting a podium there. So we will be handing that out, guys, in just a few minutes time after the final. Be sure to join us down on track. Always a good time, especially for the Pro 2 podium, because we have the juniors and the rookies as well, of course. But guys, that just leaves one thing left to do. We've got one battle to do to finish off Pro 2 here at IDS round 3 in Watergrasshill, County Cork, as we inhale loads of tire smoke up here, Adam.
Yeah, it's gone very foggy up here, it is, but we're ready, Mike. It is finally time for the Pro 2 Championship final of round 3 here in Watergrasshill. As you said, proudly brought to you by our title sponsors Red Bull and Lucky Day Competitions. The cars are warmed up and getting ready to go. We've got Andrew Malloy in the lead position, followed by young Colin O'Sullivan from County Kerry, celebrating his birthday weekend. So could this be the weekend that's really working out in his way?
A dream weekend for both drivers here. Andrew Malloy with the car that he always admitted was an underdog car. He won't be able to believe that he's in the final. Very much deserved to do so. Colin O'Sullivan on his birthday weekend, finishing his leaving cert. Guys, are you ready for the final here at Pro 2 of IDS? Ready to rock, we're ready, they're ready. They're leaving the line. Sully leaves the line first, gets the whole shot at the chase car. Intelligent driving there. Now Andrew Malloy puts foot to floor in the BMW. They come up the straight. Malloy flicks it in. Sullivan flicks it in. Oh, big entry there from Malloy. Sullivan is right there with him, pushing the BMW around the first corner. Now Malloy has to make the transition count, has to get into this corner as quickly as possible. Sullivan is cutting the track here tiny bit, but finds the proximity, almost makes contact, possibly makes contact. In fact, Adam, great battle so far.
Unbelievable battle. Andrew Malloy really making every bit of power in that car work to his max, but Colin O'Sullivan is trying to get right up on the door of Andrew Malloy. Bit scrappy in the chase, but he's putting everything he can into it. What an outstanding run. Give a big bull of us to these two outstanding young drivers.
Yeah, it's County Down versus County Kerry. It's the northeast versus the southwest, and pretty much two opposite corners of the country. And yeah, I would say a very, very tight one, Adam. No definite advantage for either driver in that one. Still all to play for the last run of the day here.
Definitely, Mike, with the way things have been going all day, I won't be surprised if it's another one more time for our final even.
Why not? We've had enough so far anyway, so
we've already gone past the time limit, may as well stay here for the evening.
Exactly. And thank you once again, guys, for your support, be it watching the live stream or even more importantly here in Watergrasshill. All the crews and all the fans treated to a day of drifting in the sunshine, watching the up-and-coming talent of Irish drifting and indeed sometimes world drifting coming through. And what a final we have here. It is a big horsepower mismatch, but it's not a big talent mismatch. Andrew Malloy making that BMW work so hard. Can he keep up with the faster Sylvia here? We'll know in a couple of seconds. Guys, you ready for the last run of the day? Ready to rock. So Sully leads us in. Andrew Malloy, does he have the pace? He doesn't have the pace on initiation. Can he find the door of the Sylvia? The faster Sylvia has opened up a little bit of a gap here, Adam, but Malloy has it on the brakes. Can he make it on the brakes? He can! Look at this from Malloy. He looks for the door to Sylvia. He finds it, Adam.
Absolutely, Mike. Colin O'Sullivan is trying to use every bit of grip and power he has in that beautiful Sylvia car to push away, but Andrew Malloy is there with him. He is not holding back all day. He's been a real hard charger, and look at him, he's right on the door of Colin O'Sullivan. They cross the line. Oh my God, Mike, what a final we have just seen. Give a huge round of applause to these two outstanding young drivers, Andrew Malloy and Colin O'Sullivan.
What a final, and a final worthy of today. Malloy there getting a little bit caught at the initiation because he was definitely giving away a bit of horsepower, but you know what, he found the door on the brakes. He braked so late into the hairpin, maintained his angle, found the door, and I'm not sure if he had enough, but he definitely did a great job with the horsepower that he had all day long and didn't change that habit in the final. So guys, as Andrew gets out of the car, guys, want the biggest round of applause today for your two finalists, Colin O'Sullivan and Andrew Malloy.
Outstanding driving by both drifters this weekend. Something to be completely proud of, and they'll never forget this weekend, I'm sure of. From what I can see here, our judges are making shapes up here. So that means, Mike, this is Kieran Hines does a few dances for us. I think we have a winner, Mike. That decision won't be announced now, but it will be announced down on the podium. So we will see you down there on the podium to announce the winner of IDS Round 3 2025 here in Watergrasshill for the Pro 2 Championship. We'll see you down there.
is how we do. That's me. That's right. That's me. That's right. That's me. Damn right. This is how we do. That's me. That's right. That's me. That's right. That's me. Damn right.
Very much for being here at IDS Round 3 2025. Fantastic days drifting, great driving by everyone, and a great show put on. It just goes to show the depth of talent in this country that a Pro2 championship can put on such a fantastic display of driving and a fantastic display of cars as well, and half our grid doing junior and leaving cert and everything, absolutely crazy stuff. So well done to all. So we're going to start, guys, with the junior podium. Once again, drivers from 13 to 16 years of age. and the up-and-coming talent in Irish drifting. So I can announce in third position in the junior class. Let's hear a big round of applause for Jake McElveen. Well done, Jake. In second position in the junior class, it's Jamie Hines. Which must mean in first position, guys, in the junior class. Want to hear a huge round of applause. Star of the future. It's one. It's the only. It's Alex Butler. Well done to the juniors, lads. Great stuff. So guys, moving on to the rookie championship. First time competitors who have never before qualified for a twin battle in the year previous. So up and coming drivers as well, and the future also of Irish drifting. And in third position, let's hear it for Mattis Karaitis. Mattis is getting ready there. Getting the whole shot there, leaving the start line early. In second position, somehow taming that crazy little turbo V8 MX-5, it's Nathan Walsh. Which means in first position, guys, in the rookie class, he's the best of the West. Let's hear it for Francis Hines. Guys, let's hear it once again. Can we get a round of applause for the rookies? Mattis Karaitis, Nathan Walsh and Francis Hines. And so guys, that just leaves our main podium of the day. The Pro2 Championship outright, lads, contested by 32 crazy drivers that made it into the top 32. I think 65 started qualifying. So crazy numbers to get through in the first place, just in order to get to the top 32 battles. So these four guys, want to hear a huge round of applause, guys. Put on a great show all day, as did everybody here, to be honest, today. So in fourth position, valiantly getting going all the way until mechanical issues put him out. And I would say possibly after taking the lead in the Pro2 Championship outright. Guys, let's hear it for Jake Davey. Injured his foot pushing the accelerator pedal too hard. Sexy man. Which must mean, guys, in third position, we know we're all going to give him first position for his beard. He's in third position today. Let's hear it for the man. It's Matt Darren! What a man. We better get this done because this man is looking excited. In second position, guys, after an unbelievable charge to the podium. And you know what? Fighting all the way, and fought all the way, and eventually was just nipped. Maybe lacking a bit of horsepower, but it didn't show. Let's hear it for Andrew Malloy! Kenny Dang. Which must mean only one thing, lads. If our information is correct, it's this young man's birthday weekend as well. He's in the middle of the leaving cert, but that doesn't matter. Your winner of Pro2 IDS Round 3. Let's hear it for Colin O'Sullivan. The mic down like here, but hey. Guys, one more time, let's hear it for your top four. Jake Davey, Matt Darren, Andrew Malone, your winner of IDS Round 3 Pro2, Colin O'Sullivan. Those four drivers will be back tomorrow for Pro Action, lads. Thank you all so much once again. We'll see you here tomorrow at IDS. Back for Pro Action. Get the semi-slicks. And we'll see you all here tomorrow morning, guys. Thank you so much.
This is how we do. That's me. That's right. That's me. That's right. That's me. Damn right. is how